I just threw my marker behind the thing. That sucks. These up. What's up, Mike Hodge? This is day 4 of my streamathon. I promised everybody that I'd stream up until Christmas, so I'm doing a stream a day until Christmas. If anything, it's good for my watch hours. I just cut this out to put into the shop, make it fit. Let's see how that'll go. Perfect. Oh, that's gonna fit perfect. I won't get that put up tonight, but cut that out perfect. That will fit right in there. Let's go on behind the lathe. I need a few more pieces on this back wall right here. I wouldn't mind having a few pieces around that area back there. Just kind of put pegboard everywhere. I would put it up tonight, but I don't know where my air compressor or my air hose is. Let me go find it. Three in the house. Welcome, everybody. About to put up this piece of pegboard back behind here. Yeah. I use it all the time. I even added on to the collection. What's up, Power Stroke? I even added on to the collection, Mike, with this. This is what we cut up the RV with. Pulled out here to put this up. I might have to mute y'all when I turn on the air compressor. I got that little air compressor up in the loft. It's kind of loud. What's up, Riley Small Engines? Welcome to my stream. Actually, I might have enough air to run that. At least get that post put up there. I do not know, Jude. You know, I'm doing this one a day until Christmas thing. So I don't know how long today. I just started, so I'll move y'all over here. here. Got a pair of scissors. Let's just cut this shorter. This is just an accident waiting to happen right here. Can cut a straight line and life depending on it. What up, Patch? There we go. So I don't have to worry about that just flopping and hitting something. Let's get out my air nailer wherever you can. See what we got in it. Oh, plenty enough for the night. See if this thing has enough air. Nope, I might mute y'all a minute. I have to mute y'all a minute while I turn this air compressor on, or y'all all go deaf. I'll be right back. Let me mute my mic. Hi, Breezy. That'll be cool to see. I'd like to see that. I'm eventually probably going to take this pegboard down and put insulation up here too, so I can have air conditioning in the summertime. What's up, Jeremy? Oh, that's better. This is going to be for some tooling back here. I'm going to put some tooling back here. Like the thing for the chuck and stuff. That should make it pretty nice back here. Like I said, I want to go through this whole shop eventually and put up pegboard. I always said this is a little shop that could. Try to get the camera where ain't so much light glare. I might have to turn this light off. There. Turn y'all back around here. Like that. Well, everybody, I'm going to put the link in if anybody wants to join. I just wanted to get this pegboard up before. Just wanted to get that pegboard up. It'll be loud for a second, guys. That's what I should have did when Kmart shut down. That's when I should have bought up a bunch of stuff. I thought about doing that because I got like a parts room up in the barn up there where I put a lot of like new old stock parts that you can't find no more. I got a lot of belts and stuff. What's up, Christian? Wind up with this hose again. I do not miss Kmart's. I felt like going to Kmart's was torture back in the day. My mom would go and do clothes shopping there at Kmart's. I do not miss that store. You know what I got lucky and found? I found some of those like those lockers, the military lockers, the big metal locking ones. I got one of those up in the barn now. Lock parts up in $15. That was a heck of a deal. Because usually when you see people selling them, I've seen people wanting almost $100 before. Oh, that's pretty cool, Christian. Just keep at it. Keep posting that content. As they say, content. Right? Anybody else slow right now? I ain't had a repair for a while. At least a couple of weeks. Of course, I'm in Texas where we don't have snow blowers. If Mower Medic's in here, he knows what I'm talking about. And I'm not a major dealership, so I don't get warranty work. I usually do a lot of most of my repairs are landscapers. And I guess maybe the landscapers ain't working right now as much. Well, it's cold and grass ain't growing as it used to. I'm just cleaning up. I just put up pegboard over here behind the lathe. This was donated by a viewer, Ronald. He donated a piece of pegboard, so I got it up behind the lathe. I got some, I think I have some more pegs up in the barn somewhere. I gotta go up there tomorrow. I don't want to go up there at night. I don't want to know what I'm going to run into at night in the barn. There's no electricity up there no more. There was electricity, but it was so shady I unplugged it or unhooked that setup up there. Hopefully, though, usually by February, things start picking up more and more here. I might do some. I might get some mowers together to get ready to flip them. I haven't done that in a while. In the springtime, it's kind of hard to flip. Or in the springtime, it's kind of hard because that's when I'm busy to have mowers ready to flip. So if I get them in the next month or so and get a bunch ready by tax time, everybody will be in wanting to buy them. I got that. I got a snapper that I picked up for $50 up in the barn. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it down here soon. I got to build an exhaust manifold for it, and there'll be a video on that. Probably a long one. I would imagine it's going to be 20, 30 minutes as I go through the whole thing. It runs. It's just ain't got no exhaust manifold, so it's very loud. I was able to drive it off the trailer up into the barn. Where did I put the box for my Neller? 334 views. That's pretty good, Christian. Keep at it. It's a long road. I mean, I ain't gonna say YouTube's been great in some ways. I've met a lot of great people. I've got to hang out with. I got to hang out with a lot of big people from YouTube. I got to do things that I would never imagine I would have ever been able to do. Thanks to YouTube. I'm going to go over to my phone because sometimes my chat's messed up. So I'm going to go over here and look. What's up, Turning and Stuff? Thanks for joining my channel. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everybody that comes to my channel. That's what helps grows my channel. My biggest thing I got to do right now, the job I got to do right now, is I got to get to my mom's Explorer, get it fixed. I keep kind of pushing it off, but I don't think I can push it off no more. They are. I met a few bad ones, but for the most part, I've met a lot of good ones. So with all the good ones, it kind of takes over. The bad ones don't matter no more. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. New tires. Awesome. Awesome. Have you seen the truck that I got up here, Christian? I got a 93 Ford F350 dually. We got it a few months ago. Hopefully there'll be a lot of videos on the channel on that one soon. I'd like to get a flatbed on it. I've been working on some wiring and stuff on it. The wiring was rigged. That's gonna be that's gonna be the work truck. So we'll be hauling a lot of mowers and stuff like that. I also do a lot of power sports too from time to time. Yeah, it was a pretty good deal. We picked it up for $1,200. It runs great. Ugly because it's missing a fender or two, but it was an old ranch truck. Believe it or not, this one was pre-Power Stroke. This was an IDI 7.3 IDI. So it'll get you there. It'll take your house with you, but you ain't gonna get there fast. I don't need to get there fast. We use that truck to pull a trailer. I'm not trying to go fast down the highway with the trailer loaded. Okay, I will. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me grab over here. Grab a keyboard back. Believe it or not, this mic is only about $30. It's called Neewer NW7000 on Amazon. It's a pretty nice mic setup. This host setup. And just so y'all know, I had this set up before Mick did. Let's see. Here we go. Put that link down for you. I thought about getting a wireless microphone set up because a lot of people say I move around too much. So my audio kind of moves in and out with it. But yeah. This is what I got for now. Maybe if I get monetized in the future, maybe there will be some cooler gadgets. But right now I'm kind of tapped out on what I'm going to buy camera-wise and stuff. Yeah. I actually had this one before him. I like to think that I'm an influencer because a lot of people got this mic set up after I did. So I like to believe that I was an influencer on that. I should get those links that when they click on it, someone clicks on it. Yeah, Sir Mick. You know, I was the first one to joke and call him that too. I like teasing Mick. But like I said, I should get like one of those Amazon. You know how you set those some of the bigger channels. You click on the links and you buy something, they get a little bit of money off the purchase. Maybe I should be doing that. Like I always say, these projects I do on this channel is not free. So when some people say that they don't care ever becoming monetized, I always said if I ever get to the point, of course I'm going to monetize, even if it's just a few dollars a month. That's a few dollars a month to go back into the channel that I didn't have to put back into the channel. So if it comes to the point that I can get monetized, I will monetize my channel so my channel can I can get stuff for my channel. What's up, Patrick? Man, me and Patrick had some good chatting yesterday. Nobody else would join me, but Patrick would. I don't ever plan on trying to get rich off of YouTube. In fact, it's most likely everyone of us here in the chat and me we're never going to ever hit that big, especially in just small engines. But it would be nice if it would cover some of the stuff that we do. Hey, Patrick, look, I got my pegboard up behind my lathe. I put it up with the nail gun, but I'll probably put a few screws in there too. I don't think the nail gun's strong enough for if you put a lot of weight. Exactly, turning and stuff. People don't believe me. That's where all my money's at, is on OnlyFans. If you look up OnlyFans / BS Small Engines, you will find me there. Anyone like AC/DC? Of course we like AC/DC. SWAT tease Mick. The SWAT actually started that. I started that after Mick's mowers. That's what I usually use too. After Mick Mowers teases, Mick's mower release that everybody in Texas wears chaps and cowboy hats. So I teased him, and I started OnlyFans. I don't think I posted a video. Oh, we got Power Stroke Juice. Here we go.
Let me set my computer up. How's that?
I was about to start singing all by myself.
I'm here, man. How you doing today?
What's up, old school?
Is that old school repair shop, man? Tell him, dude, I swear. Hold on one second. I have his mug, man. His tumbler. I just haven't sent it. It's been a crazy week. But I will be sending that tumbler out to him.
Don't feel bad. I haven't got BW's hatchet sent out.
You see, it's right here. It's still in the box, brand new, never touched. I will get it out to him. He DM'd me his info.
The week before Christmas, and it's a pain. It's a pain to get to the post office a week before Christmas anyway.
Especially when they're only letting 20% capacity get in there.
Yep.
And
a line all the way around the building usually.
Yeah, exactly. But I promise, old school, it's on its way. It will get there. I'm a man of my word. It will get there. I've sent stuff out to you guys familiar with I think it's BS Electronic or BWS Electronic?
Yeah, he's the one that won the hatchet.
Oh, are you kidding? He won a ratcheting wrench for me on the heavy wrenches stream a couple months ago.
He's always winning stuff. He won a Hold the Waltz set off a stream.
Oh my goodness, man. He's so lucky. Yeah, he won a wrench. I remember he told me, he's like, "Oh, this will be the nicest wrench I have." I'm like, I called him, "Have you used it?" And he's like, "No, I don't use, because I do more electrical work, man. I don't use wrenches too much, but I'm waiting to."
The biggest thing I've ever won was on Brad's workshop stream. I won some the toolbox widgets from a toolbox. That was the biggest thing I've ever won.
I've won the what's that wrench called for the the nano wrench?
Mm-hmm.
I won that from Astro Pneumatic, and I won a glove box holder or dispenser from Lyle Tools. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, most of the time I would just win like hats and T-shirts. I should never have to buy a T-shirt ever again by all the companies that send me T-shirts.
How do you guys get companies to talk to you, or to how do they reach out, or do you reach out to them?
They usually reach out to me.
Well, you've got close to 1,000 subscribers, but I know guys who have subscribers, around the same as me, a little, maybe just a few more or a little bit less, and they have sponsors. I was just wondering how it happened.
Yeah.
And no one's asked me to do anything.
Yeah, I don't have no sponsors yet. That'd be cool, but I've never had any sponsors. I did. We was talking about the Amazon reviews, and some are legit and some ain't. And this was the only one that I've done that was actually legit. And this was a cordless light.
How do you like it?
It's actually pretty good. It's also a power bank.
That's nice.
To charge your phone.
How long does it take to charge your phone?
Not long. This thing actually charges my phone faster than the outlet does.
Oh, that's cool. And when it's done charging a phone, what kind of charge does it have?
It usually drops a dot or two.
Oh, God.
Like emergency situations, I would see you use it, but for everyday charging, I don't reckon.
No,
I probably use it for like when I go out to these festivals and stuff, and I'm taking videos at the tractor shows and stuff, and my camera, GoPro battery goes down pretty quick when you're filming a lot of footage. Keep my GoPro charged.
When you have tractor footage, it's always like quiet or with like some weird YouTube music.
I have to do on the tractor shows. I have to do the YouTube music because they have radio stations there playing music.
Oh, so you don't want to get dinged for copywriting? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering, why does he always play this?
Yep.
Oh man,
you're okay. No, what did you do, old school? Says I'm okay, so no one worry. Now we're worrying. What did you do? You can't tell somebody that and not expect us to worry.
well, I know he was doing a lot of plowing out in the snow.
Well, yesterday he was at the hospital.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, with his girlfriend. I hope everything's good there, old school.
Yeah, old school. Hope everything's all right, man.
Oh, I'm not climbing up there to put that up there right now. That's too high.
So you said they're selling your land. Are you thinking about going to Kentucky, like for reals?
It depends when they sell it. Possibly, yeah.
You said you've been out without a job for a couple weeks, huh? Not much.
Yeah, there ain't been no small engine work for a couple weeks at least.
That sucks.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec.
I'll talk to myself, I guess.
Right? I'm trying to see why everybody's out there yelling. I guess it was yelling at the dogs.
Oh, okay.
My sister has Great Danes. They're big and they're always in the way.
Yeah, that's what a big dog does, man. They're always in the way. Hey, you ever look at those diag tables? The ones you can, the part of it will go underneath the feet, or the base will go underneath the truck or car, and then the table hangs above the car, above the hood, so you have like tools and stuff right next to you.
I haven't, but I kind of need one because I always work by myself. I had my cousin here from Ohio, and he didn't work out. He didn't like the Texas heat and working in it.
I'm trying to get my hands on that company Monster Mobile. I'm trying to get it on one of theirs because I know Sunex makes their their or makes the carts for them, for K Tool, and for someone else. So I know it's a decent quality, but I know that the Monster Mobile, since they're going under, their stuff's cheap right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find someone who's got one of theirs for like $60 or something.
Someone said that they ain't gonna go fully under. They're gonna sell what they got and rename and change colors or something.
What are they gonna rename though?
I don't know.
Part of the whole as silly as this may sound, you know, if I would have been breezing through Amazon or wherever I was looking and saw Monster Mobile tools, and they were blue and white or red and green, red and yellow or something like that, I would have just kept moving. It was the green that caught my eye.
A lot of people like those green tools. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of people who like those green tools.
Man, I do. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember when everybody wanted to get the green Snap-on tools. Everybody was getting the green Snap-on tools.
I bought their half-inch breaker bar with a green soft grip handle.
I don't think I've ever owned a soft grip handle ratchet.
This isn't a ratchet. This is just a breaker bar.
Oh, a breaker bar. I don't think I've owned anything with a soft grip.
No, most of my, in fact, well, you know what? I think I have one gear wrench, quarter-inch ratchet that's got a comfort grip, but everything I have is all a hard handle or metal, you know. Easier to clean.
Robert Waters says it's hard to. We need a new color green. It's hard to match with the nail polish.
And I got a shoot just standing right here. Right now, my lid's up. Well, it's always up in my shop here in my garage, and my laptop. It's an all-in-one, but it's sitting on top and just looking right here. You know, from going like this, I have a kneeling mat, some screwdrivers, another kneeling mat, a light, 4 more lights, a tray, you know, a couple of cases, a toolbox. Everything is just green and black.
All right.
That's what killed me when I got those not the Monster. I bought the Mac a couple months ago, I got the Mac tools. They had the 1/4-inch and 3/8 cordless ratchets.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a smoking deal, man. You got both ratchets for less than the price of one of the Snap-ons. And I wanted the Snap-on long neck in green, but I just couldn't pass up this deal. Only thing I didn't like about it was they only came in red, red and black. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. This is the only green tool I own in my whole shop.
The Ryobi?
Yeah, it's the die grinder.
Okay.
I don't own no other Ryobi stuff, no green tools. That's it. And I didn't even buy that. That actually belongs to my mom.
Is this considered a? Let me see if I can get this in front of the camera. See, right now it looks green, but the farther I go away, this is more of that Ryobi color. See, I always consider that like a neon green or high-vis green. People try to tell me it's yellow, but I like it.
Read Robert's comment.
Yeah, maybe. The CEO is a female. You hear that? Said if the CEO is a female, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really. I only use the AWP one. I used to use my Snap-on one, but it's kind of old and beat up, and the OEM Tools one isn't really that great.
Yeah.
So I just use those mainly like as a mouse pad or to keep my computer on.
Yeah. Robert, are you talking about the die grinder? Yeah, I do like the die grinder. I use it a lot to clean up like the burrs and like spindles and stuff before I install bearings.
How do I see the comments on StreamYard? Do I have to get my cell phone and look at them?
You should be able to see to the side over here, all the way over here. They should be. You just go to and click comment.
All right, let me see here.
Let's see.
Is it the same comments we see on YouTube?
Let me show you.
Okay, I just turned it on. All right, cool. Yeah, I got it.
Right here. Okay. I need to get a mower lift so I don't have to get one of those lift tables so I don't have to get down on the ground and work on some of the smaller stuff no more. That really does suck.
Yeah, I own a. Here we go, built over. But I hear it now. I'm really going to hear it. But before I started using mats, if I was up and down all day long, I'd wear knee pads. But
yeah,
it's just not comfortable with your pants, pulling up on your pants all the time. And I've seen those pants with them built in, but I haven't tried them. But yeah, man, I'm too old to be getting up and down on my knees anymore, man. I need something soft. I actually did a little review on these mats, and I showed myself just straight dropping to my knees onto the mat. That the AWP mat's pretty legit.
I'm actually have to get my heater on here in a second. It's getting chilly. Turn off that light. That might be too much. And hook that. By the way, guys, this light from Harbor Freight's a pretty good work light. I could put this thing out here outside at night and light up a whole work area.
Which light is it? Is it the Braun?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just drinking my pop. I got a similar light to that. It's old. I've had it for years. I got it from Home Depot, and it's pretty good too. It lights up a lot of space in a direct path though. I mean, it doesn't really expand wide, too wide. Nah, a little bit. It'll light up a dark garage, so you can work in there.
Yeah.
They put off some heat too. The pants start to get holes in them from when Built Over bought. That's Robert, right? Built Over bought.
Yeah, it's Robert Waters.
Robert. So when you wear those pants and up and down, it wears out the pants. Yeah. Go ahead.
I need to do some kind of winch setup in here. Riley, I got to where my building sets up off the ground a little bit. When I go up the ramps, I have to push zero turns and stuff up into the building. And so I need a winch to actually pull dead mowers up into the building. I wonder if I can make one fit in here, Robert, or I kind of need one outside too to lift up welders off of people's trucks. I do a few welders here and there.
Patrick, what tools do you get from there? What are your favorite tools that you pick up at Harbor Freight? You're talking Icon, Pittsburgh, Quinn, Doyle. I mean, they have a lot of good stuff. I got my first Pittsburgh ratchet today. Or yesterday.
I've yet to try any other Icon stuff.
I haven't tried any Icon stuff either, but I went there looking at their the double box end ratcheting wrenches, but not the flex heads with two different sizes. The ones that are it's like a ratcheting 3/4 on one side, and then just a box end 3/4 on the other side.
Oh my God, Robert! Every day you get on here and talk, we're just glad to know that she ain't killed you yet, cause it's coming. It's coming. You keep talking to her like that. What happened to Robert Waters? I don't know. I want to try some of their lathe tools for my metal lathe.
When I'm working here at home and it's a big job and I need a second pair of hands, man. My wife, my boy's only 10. When I was setting the head on the 6.0, that last job I did last week when I was finishing up, I had to show my 10-year-old how to work the cherry picker, and my wife was, well, maybe it was my wife from the cherry picker. I don't know. Anyways, my wife and son were both helping me. None of the super major stuff, but shoot, when you need an extra hand, if you're lying underneath the truck, putting the starter back in, and a bolt rolls out or a socket rolls out, it's nice to have that extra pair of hands to go get it for you.
Yeah.
Anybody tried that tool creeper from Harbor Freight?
I have not.
Man, $17, man. You can't beat it. I picked up mine a couple weeks ago. Shoot, man, it's got little compartments, for some small hardware, for some sockets. It's really cool.
Hi, Raleigh Small Engine.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Riley? How are you, man? I'm Jude. Pleasure to meet you.
I just subscribed to your channel there, Power Stroke, and BS, I subscribed on yours too.
Oh, man, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it. Man, love all the work you guys do.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. You was talking about a winch and this stuff. We just bought a cheap Harbor Freight winch and put it in the roof, and it works pretty good. And
yeah, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it mount it to the floor. I'm gonna mount one to the floor right here to pull mowers up into it. The shop. I could push most mowers, but those zero turns, you know how heavy those zero turns get.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got an old SF12 Craftsman. The old tractor still runs great. I want to turn it into tow mater and have it as my tow vehicle.
Yeah, I thought about doing that too. Put like a push bar in the front and then a boom in the back.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be fun, a little fun build. We do some welding and stuff here too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I started doing that probably a couple of years ago. Started doing more added welding and stuff to the shop. That's a pretty good extra income.
Absolutely. My dad taught welding and metal fabrication. And so I've been welding my whole life. You could tell I'm an old guy, but I've been doing that and fixing stuff. I was born with diesel fuel and gasoline in my veins, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, people ask me how long. Believe it or not, guys, I am 28 years old and have been doing small engines. I've never worked for anybody else. I've been doing this whole small engine thing my whole life.
Man, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. I've worked for myself most of my life doing various things, and man, you're doing a great. That's the way to do it. Work for yourself.
I want to grow eventually. I'm trying to. I started doing a lot of trucks and stuff because I get a lot of landscapers, so they kind of like the all-in-one shop. I'll fix their trucks, their trailers, the mowers. I fix it all here. And it was okay when I had my cousin here working for me, but he didn't like this Texas heat, so he went back to Ohio. So I'm back down working with myself.
We're in South Carolina, just south of Columbia, is where we're located. So we don't see any snow blowers.
Same here.
Gamecock country, huh?
That's
Huh?
why I'm jealous.
It's a
I'm
game.
jealous of these northern guys because they're making more money year round in the small engine trade. It dies down for me. I ain't got a whole lot going on until just right before spring. Then I'll start picking back up again.
Right. We well see we do a lot of work on four wheelers. Of course, all the lawnmowers and stuff, and then we've got our commercial tree guys. That kind of thing helps us out too. And we're still right now. We're probably a week behind right now. It is about the closest we ever get caught up, which makes it pretty lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
That's very lucky. You can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, we work long hours too. We're open Tuesday to Saturday, 8:30 to 6:30, and nobody's open all day on Saturday, but we are closed on Mondays. So, but we enjoy it. My wife, actually, it's just me and my wife, and she works on the equipment too.
That's like Built Over Bot here in the chat. He has the helmet. It's just him and his wife. They have a lawnmower dealership in Illinois. It's just him and his wife.
Yeah.
And that's two tool truck bills, though.
I can't see the chat over here. How do I get it to work?
If you're on a computer, you have to go all the way to the comments. On the phone, it's a little hard to do. Hard to explain on the phone.
Okay, I'm on the laptop. There it is. Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. I'm new to this thing. I've only got a few videos out, and we're going to try to work on some more, get some more things out.
Is your channel's name Rally Small Engine?
Yes, sir. It is.
Right. As soon as we're off here, or as soon as my phone's charged, whichever happens first, I'll be checking out your channel.
Honestly, not to sound mean, but I'm glad to see more professionals coming on here because the whole small engine thing on YouTube's been taken over a lot by DIYers. So it's nice to start seeing some more professionals in the small engine starting channel.
Yeah, and I've only did a couple videos, and it's been over a year ago, and I don't know why it's not written correctly on the screen. It's RALEY' small engines, but yeah, there's only a few videos on there, and I'm very new at this, just trying, but hopefully I can learn from you guys. You're the professionals at this for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think some people like me, to be honest, because I do kind of tell the truth. Being in the professional field, I don't do some things that other YouTubers do. I call it liability. And I don't like taking those liabilities on customer stuff. So some people don't like me for that. But it's what I learned from being around other dealers and talking to other dealers that taught me when I first started. You don't do this, you don't do that if you expect to stay in business.
Right. Well, my opinion is just be always honest with your customers. Tell them straight up and just do the right thing. You know what's right and wrong. Do the right thing by your customers. And
sometimes it's hard, but you try to stay as nice as possible because you got those. Right. You get them every now and then. You get nobody will be happy no matter what you do. They'll not be happy.
We are very fortunate. We've got a lot of great customers.
Same here.
And you've always got to be nice because you're a businessman. So but you do what you got to do. But just do right by your people, and it'll come back to you.
Yep. Yeah, that's how a lot of my business. I don't even advertise anymore. I used to advertise all the time. I haven't advertised in years. Most of my customers are word of mouth anymore.
Well, that's the way you want it, I think.
That's how you get the best customers, really.
We don't do any advertising. We started by when I retired. We started by just picking up stuff on Craigslist and Marketplace and fixing broke stuff and put it out by the road and sell it. And then people
that's how I started out too.
Yeah. People say, "Can you fix this? Can you fix that?" So I can't remember the last time I sold a used piece of equipment.
Yeah.
But it was
Sometimes my brother-in-law will bring in stuff to fix up and flip, and I'll do it for him. Like push mowers that, not like if they're in bad shape, I won't do it. But if it's something like a carburetor, I'll knock it out real quick for him, and I'll make a few dollars, and he'll flip it and make $100 on a push mower.
awesome. Yeah. Hey, it keeps stuff out of the dump. So many people throw things away.
Yep. I
It's-
just don't do two strokes. I won't rebuild and sell two strokes. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, well, it depends. To me, it kind of depends on the machine. If you got a little $139, $119 Poland chainsaw or something, no, it's not really worth it. They can buy a new one. Yes, they're fixable, but the time, you don't have time to do that.
Yeah, that's why when you see in this shop, when I do two strokes for customers, I only work on Stihl, Husqvarna, Red Max, and Echo. That's the only ones I really work on. I won't work on none of the cheap ones. It's just not worth it for me.
Yes, that's correct. On the occasion that we do is simply because of who the customer is. But it's self.
I was just going to say, if you have a customer that you do a lot of his stuff and he has one of the things you don't normally work on, because you do a lot of his other stuff, you probably make an exception.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I worked on a lot of cheap blowers.
That's how it was when I worked at the truck center. At the truck center, we did nothing smaller than an F-250. But if we had a customer that, had two F-250s, an Excursion, and a motorhome, he asked us to work on his Ford Ranger or his Mustang or something, we'd be like, yeah, man, just bring it in, dude. We'll take care of you. Because he put so much money into the shop, you don't want to, you want to keep him happy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
My biggest customer is a construction company that I fix his welders. He's got a lawn care service on there, and he brings in a lot of business. One of the big repairs I've done for someone he brought in was a Kawasaki Mule 4010 side by side, and that was a pretty good paying job.
Yeah, four-wheelers are expensive, and UTVs and stuff they're very expensive to get done at the dealers. And if you can pick, especially like the belts and clutches and stuff like that, that's good money.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's not difficult. No, it's not difficult at all.
Yeah, that's why, like I tell everybody, if you work on a mower, if you're working on a carburetor system on a four-wheeler, there's not a whole lot different.
Yeah, engine is an engine there, and of course I guess we've got the diesel master right there, Mr. Power Stroke. And I own a 7.3. I've got a old 2000, got like 300,000 miles on it that we.
Oh, nice, man.
I love it. Oh, it's like brand new. It's brand new inside and out the way it looks. Just had the transmission done in it. Had to have it rebuilt. I've got nobody to do it myself, but my last one was a 97. I bought brand new F-350, and I put 400,000 miles on that truck and sold it, and wish I still had it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, you probably wish you still had that truck.
Man, I loved it. I love the old square body style.
I do too.
That's just, and it was gold. It didn't show dirt. It was just a beautiful truck.
Hey, what's up, CP? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm hoping, you talking about that, I hope on going back to Kentucky, a little bit of the cost is a little bit cheaper there, and I'll be able to get into a bigger shop. Right now, I can't afford the commercial shop here because they're wanting $3,000 a month, and that's just crazy. But believe it or not, this little shop right here, I've done military contracts out of this little shop. So you can make it in this little shop.
Man, you know what? Our shop is, it's a very old shop, but it was actually built in the 80s, but it's behind our house. So
same here.
It's behind our house. We've got a sign at the road, and we're, business licensed and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't sell new equipment. We only repair.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever be able to come to a dealership. The cost to start up on a dealership is crazy.
Right.
So,
we've looked at, you mentioned Red Max earlier. We looked at them last year, and actually year before last, we looked at them. This past spring, I was wishing that I would have taken it on for handheld equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
And, and I'm still tossing it around, but I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, my shop is behind my house too. The only thing I hate is you get some customers, no matter you set your business hours, they still try to show up after hours or before hours. And that's what sucks about having it.
Yes, sir. I am with you. And I'll make them wait. I don't come down here. When I'm closed, I do not come down. You got to be a special customer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually the customers. I'll do it for customers that bring in me the good money, that's bringing in me the big money. But if you're just bringing a weed or a push mower, you can wait.
Exactly.
What's up, Everyday Fleet Tech?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to take advantage of you on your days off sometimes.
Yeah, I used to not take weekends off, but I try now when I can. It's not often in the springtime, but I try to take at least one day off a weekend because I never get anything done on the property if I don't try to take at least a day off.
Yeah, you've got to have your time. Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Robert Water says Red Max is about to go under.
Do what now? Really? Oh, okay. I see it.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's probably good to know.
That built over. I'm sorry, I was not reading the comments. But yeah, we're just gonna continue like we're going, I think. But back to that, we block our driveway with our sign up there with our business hours up, and we've got a circle drive comes down by the house, all the way around by the shop, and but we still have them. They'll come out there and want it done anyway.
I really hate the ones when you go to sit down and eat supper, and that's when they want to come up, and it's close time, and you're trying to eat supper, but they come knocking on your door.
Oh, they best not knock on my door.
Yeah, they'll knock on my door. Mm-hmm. I got one guy came knocking to my door, and just my mom answered it, and just the smell from him just wafted in the house so strong of weed, it kind of overtook the whole house.
Oh no!
The same guy hit my gate.
That would have pissed me off, man.
A big gate. He hit the edge of my gate coming into my shop where my shop is. How can you hit? It's massive.
People are something sometimes. Well, hey guys, listen. Hey, nice to meet you guys, and thank you. I've got to head to the house before my wife shoots me. So, nice to meet both of you guys. I'm subscribed. I will be watching, and hopefully I can get some videos out. And I
appreciate you stopping by. I'm here. I do this stream. I do a regular stream every Saturday.
Awesome.
So if you ever want to stop by, every Saturday I do a stream. It's kind of late. It's a 8 p.m. Central Time, but that's when a lot of my people like to come and watch, drink their beer or whatever, and watch my stream. So
Yeah, I'm having a beer in the shop now. See, but
See,
kind of like Steve's small engines, right?
right?
But
Yeah, I
our
appreciate you stopping by.
yeah,
I'll be checking out your channel today too. I'll be subscribing for sure, man. It was great meeting you.
yeah, I'm gonna try to put up some more videos, guys. But thank you again, and y'all have a great evening. And we'll be here. Thank you very much.
You
All right,
too.
man.
Take care, brothers.
And then there was two.
I can see the chat now, but do I have to chat off of YouTube because I don't know where to chat on StreamYard?
Really?
I mean, I can see live chat, but there's no spot for me to type.
Wait, no, wrong way. Hold on. It's that way. Right.
No, I see the chat, but where do I chat? Where do I type?
Oh, you can't chat. You actually have to go to the YouTube to chat. That's
Well,
what
that's-
sucks. I can chat from StreamYards. You can't.
Okay, that's what I was asking. My phone's charging over there, so I'm good. I'll just I'll say what's up. Like I said, what's up to CP? What's up, Everyday Fleet Tech? Backwoods Mechanic, man. How you guys all doing?
Here's another shop owner. We got the Robert Waters.
Hey, Robert, good seeing you again, man.
Hey, what's up?
And I did not burn the four-wheeler yet, but I had thought about it.
Apparently you can with the Windows. I can see the chat in Windows.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the chat in the windows?
I'm using my laptop on this.
Oh, yeah, I'm on my laptop. I can see the chat. I just can't chat. I just can't type anything in.
No, I can't do that. It doesn't appear.
Yeah, okay. So I'm with you.
Or at least I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. He showed me how to do that.
On a phone, you can't even see it. So that's normally what I use.
Yeah, I usually go to the YouTube side and like do the pop-out chat. I find that's the easiest way for me.
Gotcha.
I don't do much of the. Basically, I think I've been on yours and one other StreamYard thing. So. Hopefully, I'll be able to do videos again soon.
Yeah, I can't wait to see videos on when you start getting that CNC stuff going.
Well, I'm having troubles with audio right now. Every time I upload a video, it has no sound.
But what do you use for editing?
I don't edit. It just uploads the video and it.
Uploading the video?
Oh.
Yes, I got my electric fixed for now. I can't wait to have a shop with regular electric and no extension cord. One of these days.
I can't wait to have a shop that doesn't have my washer and dryer in it.
Like I always say, I'm a little shop that could because I've done a lot out of a little shop. Did a lot of big jobs.
That's how I feel, man. I do. People are sometimes they're like, man, you're doing that stuff out of your garage. I can't believe you. The troubles. I mean, the way sometimes like if you get a big job, you got to take everything apart outside, and I have it on the ground on like some cardboard and a tarp, just keeping it neat. And then if I don't finish, I got to bring everything inside. Make it, my stuff barely fits in here, so I got to reorganize the complete garage just to get all the parts that I took off on. And then if I get the new parts in, it's like a big old giant puzzle. But I get it done though.
I've got a big shop and you'll always fill it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my 65 by 65 and it's full.
Can't you were saying the other day you couldn't even push something out to work on something when it was snowing.
That's like Cajun Coin Hunter was saying one time. They got a big shop there, but it's so full that there's a lot of the repairs that they have to do outside. He was telling me he does most of his repairs outside.
I've got a parts warehouse that's 120 foot by 45 foot, and my shop is 65 foot by 65, and my showroom 65 by 65.
Oh man, you got a good setup, man.
And when we run out of space, I'm done. There's no more coming in because the warehouse houses stuff that's new, essentially. And then when I'm that full, I'm too far out because I've got a car lift that I can double stack some of that.
Okay.
So the car lift holds 3 mowers, so I can put 3 in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so slow right now. It gets like this though, like the week before Christmas, and it'll pick up. I probably gotta start advertising again. For many years, I stopped advertising. I didn't advertise, but I had a pretty good group of clients, and some of them retired, some of them sold their business over the years, so it's slowly dropping down. So I need to probably have to restart all over again.
The problem with advertising is you spend as much getting the customers you make off the customers.
Exactly. Sometimes you get back the customers that you don't want.
Yeah. I do not miss advertising.
Yep.
I don't think I've advertised in 12 years. But with selling new equipment, I get more lookers. And I've got a retail business on a street with other businesses. So that probably helps.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start making those. I think I'm gonna start doing some metal work and selling like those metal target stands. Start selling them. They're cheap to make. A little extra money on the side while I'm waiting on business to pick back up. If I sold a mower right now, a used mower, I wouldn't make nothing. Nobody's gonna pay for a mower this time of year.
No, you'd have to give it away.
Yep. I can wait till tax time and actually probably get more than what I really want, but right now, until tax time, nobody's really buying anything like that.
Yeah, I own. Actually, I think I'm down to 1 mower back there right now that I own. I think I actually did sell a couple, and I did sell one about a week ago, a new one, but it's not that common.
What's up, Phil? It's usually, I swear, everything kind of slows down. And then right around tax time, I get bum rushed with everything because that's when everybody's got the extra money to spend. So I get
That's also when
stuff sold.
That's when people start thinking about mowers. I mean,
Yep.
That's when I'll start getting paid for all my winter work. Was when taxes come in. Everything I'm doing now, I won't get paid for till next year.
Yep. Well, and you know, it's not just this kind of business. It's just not our kind of business that's hurting this time of year. Like my dad's a tow truck driver, and every time about this time of year, it slows down because nobody's sending their stuff to shops right now.
No, Phil, I'm actually building a room at my place and doing remodeling for the kitchen at my mother's place. So we've got 2 remodel jobs going on right now.
That's why you look so tired, man. You look beat.
Yesterday all day was my mother's kitchen. Today I was working on our room addition. Every winter we build another room for our house.
Oh, nice. Family room, bedroom? What kind of room is it?
This is just going to be a spare bedroom.
Okay.
The next one's going to be a kitchen living room combo, so it might be a few years before you do another one.
Those are nice when you have the kitchen with the big open area so you can see into the living room, and that's a good setup right there.
Well, what we're doing is we bought a lumber yard. That's what I put my shop in. It was a hardware store lumber yard. And on the second floor where we can't use it for parts, it's divided into 3 sections. 20 foot by 45 foot for the center section. That's going to be our living room kitchen combo.
Okay.
And then the other outside, I think each bedroom's like 900 square feet. We have a lot of room to kill.
I was
So
gonna say, wow, man, every bedroom's a master bedroom.
yes. What it is, we had the room to kill. It's not like I'm trying to get this massive house. It's just the walls are there, and we could put doors and finish it quicker that way than we could building a normal house.
Gotcha.
So some of our rooms are a little large, but it's cheaper that way for us.
And just like you said about the shop, man, you'll fill them. they'll get filled.
Actually, our house is empty. The only room I enter is my bedroom.
Oh wow.
It's got a room. It goes out to the kind of walkway. It's got its own entrance because I got a master bath and bedroom combo. That's the only room we actually enter. We don't go in any other room of the house.
Heck, if this shop was insulated, I'd probably sleep up in the loft because my sister moved back in with all her kids. It's chaotic in the house.
As I said, I basically am living in the loft in my shop.
Right? So my loft is a lot smaller.
Yeah. We're trying to essentially the other bedroom is going to be for our cats, and we're going to take over the office, which they've taken over. So they're getting a room to where they can see out the front. And instead of this, hopefully sometime next year, you'll be seeing me sitting in my office.
Where are you sitting now? It looks like you got some parts behind you, or what is it?
Yeah, I put this is a desk sitting out on my, I'm in kind of the parts room, in the corner of it, or the parts section. So it's just kind of hidden behind all the parts cabinets. And of course, you see parts behind me. These are just, I think, air filters. Yeah, those are just air filters. And there's some manuals right behind me for Briggs. But
I got my air filters hanging up there across the wall.
mine, I'd say I've got roughly 20 feet of air filter section right here. And behind my computer here is parts cabinets. Probably, let's see, 1, 2, 8 different parts cabinets there that are about 4 feet tall for little parts like drawers. And then I think you've seen some pictures of my shop, haven't you, Brandon?
Yeah, I think so.
And you go out and see the parts on the floor. So,
Yeah, if I ever get a bigger shop, that's one thing. Back when I was going real big, I wish I did, but I didn't have the space. I wish I would have invested it in parts quantity to have parts on hand, like the common parts at least.
you'll never get there. I've never achieved it. So
I mostly just want like the common like filters and stuff like that, which I pretty much stock already.
For me, that's pretty simple because my primary things I work on are Power Strokes. So I got like 4 air filters, fuel filters, oil filters, some oil, coolants. And if I'm working on anything else, anything gas, I'll get it that day or order it. So for maintenance issues, I just need one of each because I don't usually take in more than 1 vehicle a day at the most.
Which reminds me, I ran out of fuel lines, so I got to make an order for that before springtime.
yeah,
I replace a lot of that here.
Yeah, I keep a couple boxes of that around.
Yeah.
I
The
think
Texas
Chris,
heat here kind of dry cracks rots on.
I think we had a good old boy, Christian Siggers, asking if anyone likes the Dukes of Hazards. I think we all do. Just the good old boys.
Earlier, he asked if anybody liked AC/DC.
Oh, I love AC/DC, man. I'm rock and roll through and through. One of my favorite bands is Social Distortion. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them. Yeah, they're a punk rock band. I like Guns N' Roses. I like Bon Jovi. You know, I just like any kind of rock and roll.
Oh, you would have liked when my cousin was working here, because every now and then he would come in on the stream and bring his guitar and do a few songs.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't miss him because I did at first, but I don't, because at the end, before he left, he was getting where he was messing up a lot of stuff, and I feel like it was on purpose.
Was he trying to get out?
Yep. He moved the car off the ramps with no oil in it. He drained the oil, and then he pulled it off the ramps.
Wow, did he blow it up or damage
No,
it?
luckily. I chewed him out so much on that one. He told everybody I was mean to him for it. I can't afford these mistakes. That's an expensive mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I don't have mechanics working for me.
Yep. I'm better working for myself.
I used to when I had 2 locations, but
It's hard to find someone you could trust, even family. Like, look at me. I had my cousin here working. Can't even trust family.
at one time my father ran a location. I inherited the shop and he ran it for a while, the second store, and we had a good mechanic. But then he wanted to retire and we had to close the second store because who are you going to find to run a place?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. And they're 30 miles apart. So, and it had, let's see, 2 employees plus my parents both working there at one time.
That's been a pretty booming shop.
You'd be shocked at how much we can put out here working overtime.
And you're the only tech, Robert?
My wife will turn wrenches as well.
Okay.
I grew up, my mother actually was a mechanic.
All right.
The other thing is the guy that was working for us at the other shop, when we get really, really busy, he'll show up and work. And we also, the guy that used to do pickup and deliveries, he'll actually pick them up and take them to the other shop. And we'll work out of that as well. Because we still own it and it's still equipped. So
I'm gonna try.
Y'all know I turned down a deal one time to open up a shop in this little town. The city council of this little town, it's about 2 hours away from me, contacted me. They offered me an empty garage to come there and work. To open up my shop there. I turned it down.
Why'd you turn it down?
At the time, I was making really good money here. I had a lot of big job paying customers, a lot of contracts and stuff. So I was making lots and lots of money here at one time.
I put a light up. Am I a little bit out of the shadows now? I was getting tired of it. I felt like I was a ghost, wandering the halls. Hopefully this light helps a little bit.
I've been offered that at places, but when it was all said and done, they didn't turn out to be great deals.
Yeah.
And this place, I probably should have taken some tax benefits for this, but I screwed up there and didn't take anything. Now, because I own the place, I don't get any extra benefits.
Did you guys capitalize on the? I don't forget what it was called, but the stimulus for small businesses?
I couldn't. The way that it was, it had to go to like rent and other things. Well, I own this building outright, so I have no rent. And then it had to go the way that
Gotcha.
my employees are contractors, the ones that are working for me, it didn't qualify because I don't get regular paychecks. And the fact that I'm actually getting, I don't pay
1099,
myself that well because I own my house, I own my trucks. So we weren't paying ourselves that well. A lot of it goes back into the business. To grow the business, my pay is not that high. But how much do you need when all you're paying for is food? Utilities,
Yeah.
that comes out of the business. So all it would have gave me is basic, unless I lied, just a little bit of cash, and it wasn't worth the hassle.
Yeah, I didn't even try.
Uh,
Because I don't think I could get it either, because this is technically, even though I do a business out of here, it's not really a commercial place. So I have a feeling that wouldn't work out.
wouldn't if you still had a mortgage, you could have done it.
Yeah, but we rent this place.
Well, rent would have counted. You could have got that. But like my thing is, I have no rent, I have no mortgage, I have no car payments. All of that could have been taken out of it, but that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have gave me any money for it.
I heard a lot of people say you're going to end up having to pay it back anyways.
If you couldn't prove you used it, 90% of it was fraud.
Yeah.
Usually it was.
People saying, because I know a guy who got $50,000 and he's self-employed working out of his house with no, and he also didn't have any break in pay. But he lied on everything. He claimed he had a bunch of employees he didn't have. It was a bunch of lies. He's going to get busted for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't need the money anyway.
We probably had a little bit of a pay cut over this, but I still got a year's worth of salary in the bank because that's the way we live.
Smart.
Too much of risk otherwise, because I may not get a paycheck next year.
Yeah.
So we'll be fine.
I have to say, summertime here, it's probably been one of my most busy years I've had in quite a few years, believe it or not. Everybody's talking about how things will slow down, but I think I had more repairs over the summertime than I've had in several years.
It cost me too much to get parts. That's where I lost money.
Yeah.
I was really hurting getting parts this year. So,
Do you pretty much stock a part for any job you'll possibly bring in? You have it on the shelves?
that's not possible in this industry. I've got $250,000 to $500,000 in inventory, parts inventory plus mowers. But even then, I'm not even touching it.
Yeah. And on the bright side, I don't know how it is now, but usually when you order from a distributor, it's in next day.
It wasn't that way here last year.
Oh, gotcha. You see, I ain't ordered from a distributor in for quite a while.
Normally that is the case, but and you don't start out with this. A lot of people think, oh, I started this business because I started this location in 2008. And a lot of people say, oh, well, you started with that kind of inventory. My father started this business in the 1970s. So we've worked out up to that. I'm second generation. And I literally was raised in a lawnmower shop, professional lawnmower shop.
I hate to say it, some of my extra belts and stuff, some of those I might have ordered the wrong size or something, And that's how I ended up putting away a lot of belts.
Oh, have you ever seen my belt rack?
No, I don't think I have.
Wow. I'll have to get a picture of it sometime.
Yeah.
It's 45 feet, I think, of belts stacked as tight as you can get them. So,
Hello, everyone. William Lake. Hey, Brandon. My Power Stroke friend. Hello, Robert Waters. How's everyone on evening?
What's happening, old school?
hey, I guess you're not coming on camera, or?
No, I'm over at my hotel room, and they knew who I was, and I gave them a prompt so I wouldn't show off the room.
Uh,
The manager is apparently one of my subscribers, and he said, "Yo, you want to use your camera? I don't care." I said, "Well, you gonna pay me to use it?" He said, "Nope." I said, "Well, I'm not using it."
I actually thought about, I need to go up there to the barn, and I thought about up here in the rafters up here, putting like screws and stuff and start hanging up all my belts up on the rafters.
a lot of people do that. In fact, our other shop is that way.
Thinking about doing that. I thought about doing that with mower blades, but could you imagine a mower blade falling off the ceiling?
If I would sharpen it, there would be a set of stitches.
Yeah, that could hurt badly.
Yeah.
They make belt racks that you can mount up there.
So I got a few belts. I have a couple belts hanging on the wall, but I don't have many of my belts in here. I got a lot of that new old stock parts up in the barn where I bought out that small engine shop a few years ago for $80, and it was a bunch of old parts.
I just need a bigger shop.
It's been years since I've seen a small engine shop go that cheap.
Yeah, well, I think it all had labels on it, but it was at the guy's personal house. But it all had labels from a small engine shop, and it was a whole truckload of parts for $80. Nobody knew what it was. They was not bidding on it. I bid it on everything.
I was last auction I went to for a small engine shop. The parts rows were going for like $1,000 a piece.
Oh wow!
I was bidding them up just to make sure the other guy had to pay for them.
I don't think I could do it now. When I first started out, there was a couple legit shops, and that was okay. But now there's like a whole big bunch of shade tree mechanics now, like a whole big bunch.
It's getting harder to make it as a shop because each vendor is coming down real hard. I mean, Briggs isn't that bad, but like any of your lines, they won't even take orders of less than 75,000. For some of them.
That's why I don't order. That's why I don't have that kind of setup.
And they're just, you got to sell more and more every year. And the margins are 20% at best. Between 5 and 20%.
And Stens and Rotary, some of their stuff's okay, but there's a lot of junk stuff there too. And honestly, you don't save no money with them unless you're buying quality or quantity. No. Unless you're buying quantity, you ain't saving much money there either.
Now, Stens and Rotary, you get good markup, but I'm talking OEM parts.
Yeah, OEM. I used Rotary and Stens back in the day for the belts because they always had cheap belts and blades.
I just go to our local Tractor Supply or Royal King to get our belt supply.
Royal King has a crappy belt. I would actually look at a Rotary catalog. I never was a good big fan of Stens, or at least haven't been since they went Chinese.
Yeah,
their stuff's gone trash. But Rotary really makes a good belt. Your stuff at Rural King is fractional horsepower.
The Rotary Reds.
Yeah, you'll get a lot longer life out of a rotary belt. The difference is the Tractor Supply belts aren't corded right, and they'll actually stretch.
And on top of it, a lot of a belt this size at Tractor Supply will probably cost you $16, $17. At Rotary, I think I paid $6, $7 for this belt. So they do got good prices on belts.
And Rotary does make a good belt. So
I might have to. Actually, I'll put that right into my notes here.
And their
now you have to have
deals on blades too.
you will have to have a tax ID.
Yeah.
Ah,
So to buy from Rotary.
you ever hear of a place called Cutter's Choice?
I think that's a dealership.
Yeah, that's where I usually get all like my mower blades and the smaller two-stroke carburetors. I go through them. I haven't had any bad ones come from them yet.
I don't know
man.
what they're selling. That's a guy like me, basically.
Yeah. If you ever get your hands on a Rotary catalog, old school, and you see the blade prices and the belt prices,
All right.
that's almost what makes it worth being a business, just to have that kind of deal.
Yeah, see, I don't like the Rotary blades as much.
You know, it was the Sten blades you had to watch out for. Some of their sizes were off. Like they'd be like just a little bit off.
Oh, I won't even use a Sten's blade, but I'm pretty much all Oregon on the blades.
Yeah. I've had a couple, and what I would do, it's not much of a gap. They're like a little bit longer than their measurement size. And what I always did was I took my flat disc and I kind of cleaned the edges down some. Made it work, but you don't really want to have to do that.
No,
It's just an extra pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I sell blades for $10 for on average for a blade, $10 or less. I'm not doing that for 10. Selling a trash blade for $10. Now your mulching blades I sell for a little more than that, but your standard high lift blades are like between $6 and $10.
I have to say,
retail.
since I started my shop, I've yet to replace a blade. I've always been doing sharpenings. I haven't seen any blade yet that needed to just straight out be replaced.
Oh, I've seen some bad ones.
I can't say that by any means.
Granted, I haven't been a full-time shop in very long. I think I'm coming up on my third year.
Or the people that use their blades until they're like only like this much left of them on the ends.
I'll probably sell.
I'm guilty of that, Brandon. I am guilty of that with the Sears.
One of my blades, I'll order like 250 of that one blade number a year.
Wow.
So, my spring order for blades, I think, is like $3,000 for what we'll get to get this started.
Well, probably me, Robert Waters, and probably old school. But I hate chainsaws. I work on them, but I'm not a fan of them. It's not my favorite thing.
I don't mind them. I mean,
I would
they're
say
not that big
I
of a pain.
probably have the most experience of the group,
Yeah.
but you might want to. We probably have to know what question you have.
Yeah. So that's what you got, Mater.
The ones I really don't get a lot of is the ones with a decompressant valve on them. For them saws, I don't get those.
That's a higher end saw.
Yeah, the most that we get are like the old Farm Boss saws. That's about as big as the ones we get.
I would
Granted,
take
last
in the
month I had a
$5
guy come
saw.
in with a V8 one.
But I won't do, even though I work on like the high dollar two strokes and stuff, I won't do rebuilds here. It's just something I never would. I hate doing. I've done them, but I hate doing rebuilds on two strokes, like changing out rings and pistons and stuff.
Yeah,
Kind
you
of a
can't
pain.
get. I can't do those. I don't feel like I can ensure the work that way.
We used to. I don't do it anymore. By the time you charge labor on it, I mean it's got to be $1,000 chainsaw to warrant the repair
Yeah.
on that.
And a lot of times, if the cylinder scores, you're going to have to replace the jug anyway, which is going to cost more.
I've done that before, where it was still economical.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna cut out, man. Appreciate you having me on, man. It was good talking to all you guys again.
Yeah, it was
Thanks
nice
for
talking
coming on
to you,
here, dude.
Power Stroke.
Got a few things I got to do before I go to bed.
Okay.
All right, man. Night.
Take it easy.
Yep, you guys too.
Have a good one, Jude.
All right, thanks, Robert.
And there were 3.
Yeah, I'll do chainsaws, but it's not my favorite thing. That's why, unless it's like a good brand, I won't even touch them.
I'm mostly doing like steel and Husqvarnas. That's
Ooh, I don't
about
know
it.
about that, Mater.
I wouldn't have a clue. I'd have
Yeah.
never actually touched a Cobalt 24 volt.
We don't screw with electric up in this area. Everyone up here is running gasoline, everything.
What you'd have to do, there's a chart in the Oregon catalog that you can actually that's got the bar mounts correct on the chart. You basically have to pull the sprocket and pull the bar and have it laid out on the chart essentially and figure out what will fit it. So I wouldn't know how to answer. I don't know what bar mount they're using. But I actually doubt it. I somewhat suspect it's going to be a custom bar mount to the Cobalt chainsaw, and you're going to be stuck with their chain or that size chain. And
Yeah. I got an electric chain sharpener, and I've never used it.
what kind do you have?
I just picked up this one on sale at Tractor Supply. I never use it because I don't do it for customers. I've only probably ever done one, and most of the time on mine, I'll do it by hand. I don't know about that, Christian, because YouTube's kind of funky on the rules there.
Yeah, YouTube is just all screwy right now.
I've got a Oregon chainsaw grinder with a bores on wheel. Well, I run.
Someone had one on Marketplace here recently for $60. I should have got it. But like I said, I don't do a lot of chainsaw chains to make it worth it. It'll just take up space in here.
Somehow I think mine was like $300 to $400, and then the wheel's $100 each wheel.
So I picked up this little one just because it was on sale. And for sale items, can't turn them down. This little bitty thing right here was on sale for $12.99 at Tractor Supply. Never even put it together yet. It's just been in a box down there in the corner.
You'll find your teeth aren't perfect when you sharpen the chains with that. but I guess it knocks them down.
I figured I'm so used to doing it by hand. I've been doing it by hand for years. It's something my dad taught me, and I've just been doing it by hand.
That's how I do all the chains I get. Every single one of them's by hand, and then I go out and do a test cut to make sure I'm happy with the way they, how the chips turn out.
You actually sharpen customers' chains by hand?
Yes.
I've only
Wow.
done one customer's chain. It's something that most people don't come and ask for.
That's a lot of time to do it by hand, right?
Well, we don't get very many chainsaws that require the chain to be sharpened. Most people just bring them in for a gentle tune-up and a blowout to get all the freaking stink bugs out of them. That's about all. It's usually when we get the first-time homeowners that their buddy says, "Oh, you should have a chainsaw." And they just don't know how to sharpen their chain after they buried it in the mud 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, very few people can hand sharpen a chain. Uh, there's more to it than just that, Mater. You're going to have to change the sprocket as well on that, most likely.
All right, what did
I can see why you would just do that. It was Riley's, wasn't it? Small engine. Because technically, it's kind of hard to pay somebody to sharpen them. And
Yeah, I hear a lot of shops that went away from sharpening. They only sell them now.
yeah, by the time you actually set up 2 grinders, basically, to do it, you end up having to have one to take down the drag links, and you got to change the grinder over for every chain. I mean, so a different wheel. So by the time you actually set it up and deal with it,
Yeah.
you're not really making enough money. Yeah, the links aren't everything. Mater, you got pitch, and that's not all of it. You'll probably end up having to change the sprocket. Technically, I'm not sure we're making any money on chain. It's just that I've had the chainsaw grinders for a while, and I've got it set up I've got 2 of them back there set up for different chains, and I'll pivot to one and use whatever wheels on it for grinding the drags. I've never tried the copperhead chains.
I haven't either.
I've never even heard of them.
Copperhead's a rotary brand.
Yeah.
Should be a decent chain. I've just got. I'm still running it on chain I bought in the '80s, early '90s, for the most part. We bought a semi-load back then, and I still have some.
I just don't work. There's just not a lot of chainsaw work around here. I don't know why. It's just not something that's came into my shop a lot.
You're better off without it. The chainsaw stuff's not really that profitable.
Yeah, I hate chainsaws. Usually, every time I get a chainsaw in, it's a headache.
Yeah. If you're good at it, you can make some money at it, but you won't make great money at it. It's just not what you want to advertise for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We don't advertise chainsaw work. It's just something that pops in. They think that, oh, I can work on a weed eater. Why not work on a chainsaw?
Yeah, basically that's. I turn down most chainsaw work because I don't do steel work.
Steel,
the-
it depends.
That's the big predominant brand around here, and
So-
I don't work on steel equipment. So that kind of knocks me out for most of it, which that's by design. I really don't want to work on it.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what everyone runs up here is steel. But most of the time they take them right back to their steel dealerships to have them do the work on theirs. But once in a while, I'll get like a really, really old one that the dealership won't touch anymore, and they just want me to tune the carburetor up, and that's it. And throw some fresh
Steel
lines on.
dealers are $120 to look at it. So, and they're going to look for $120. They're going to tell you it's the carburetor, and the bill is going to be $120 that you owe them, or like $300 to fix it. They'll never even look at it because the stuff's not even $300. So
They're paying for the light and the name.
They're just taking your money because they're not even looking at it. I've actually had guys come pick it up and bring it over here and find out it's a spark plug.
Kind of sounds funny. I had a buddy. He had an old Husqvarna that his son borrowed and just burnt the motor up. Then just ran straight gas in it and locked the motor up.
Seen that a lot of times.
That's 90. That's a good amount of the work that comes in. It's for all two strokes. People just ran straight gas in it. They don't think to add oil. But it came in. He said, "Hey, my boy burned up my saw." And he's an older gentleman. He's a friend of my grandfather's. He just said, "Hey, this saw is just toasted. You work
Look
on
at
a
that.
lot of two
We were
strokes."
just talking about these carburetors not too long ago. The Tecumseh plastic bow carburetors. I got a whole big bunch of these gaskets.
Well, he said, "Oh, what's a good saw? What's a good saw?" And I told him, "Oh, I run a steel farm boss. I haven't had any trouble with it." He said, "Okay." He went out and bought one. His son buried the bar in dirt. Naturally, the kid doesn't know how to run a saw. He took it back to the steel dealership, and they put the chain on backwards, and put the bar on backwards, and fried the bar, and blamed him, the owner of the saw, for all the problems.
It happens. I've seen mowers go to other shops, and because they didn't want to work on them or something, they would tell them the engine was blown. Seen it a lot.
A lot of
Yeah.
motor shops just put the blades on upside down.
I don't see how a professional can put the blades on upside down.
Yeah, that don't. What's up, Brian Hooper?
Hello, Brian.
The one of our local steel shops, there's a bunch of crooks. Back when I said I bid up a place where they spent $1,000 per row, that was that shop. They got me for. We bought a tractor from them. They falsified some warranty work, essentially voiding the warranty on that tractor because they did a recall and they didn't. Well, they're known for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So when we were at an auction, and I knew the guy didn't know what he was doing. We just sent there to buy it at whatever cost. I ran him up above what he could sell all the parts for just to screw him. Because I knew what the parts were worth.
Man,
I gotta say, I haven't seen a new tractor in this area in years. We're mostly dealing with old iron around here.
I think the newest thing Old school probably's got the newest thing around.
Yeah, I got the old. Yeah, I got the my new 04 Kubota BX23. That sucker there is amazing. I don't know how on earth I lived life without that big girl. I just bought a rototiller for it yesterday. Online auction. Found a rototiller for it. Only have 12 hours on it. Dude
Well, I
said
guess
said 500. I bid it at 550 and it's being shipped.
I guess it's a thing. Brian says his local still shops are crook too. It must be a thing. They must all be crooks.
We actually do have a good steel shop around here, but he's basically backed up enough. He's a pain to get it in. So we get a lot of requests. I send him a lot of work. So we actually have an honest guy that works on steels.
Yeah.
But the closest steel dealership to me is a bunch of crooks.
There's not a
attractive
steel
dealers
dealership
primarily.
around us for about an hour. Hour drive, you'll find one.
I don't know if it's people mixing it rich or something, but a couple years ago, Steel was pushing their brand mixing oil, and I had like 3 or 4 weed eaters come in with stopped clogged mufflers that wasn't even that old.
The steel mix used to be trash. A couple years ago, I haven't been doing update school in a while for 2
Yeah,
strokes,
well, it was a
so
couple years ago when everybody was running it. It's what they was pushing off on people too, saying that
They're-
people want a warranty and stuff.
their mix was the lowest rated mix that it really had. It was trash for a while. Again, I don't know what their current stuff is. I don't know who makes it best. Because I have not been attending all of the classes I should for 2 strokes.
Yeah. Y'all ready for my
That pre-mix stuff is what's garbage.
It depends on the premix.
Stroke fluid in here.
That's old.
Rodic.
I got
That
a
came at
couple
the
of Lawn Boy
auction.
cans like that. Now, don't confuse that for your beer now, Brandon.
Right?
I am not a fan of Opti 2. Reason being is that's 100-to-1 mix, and that's just not enough oil. If you mix that 50-to-1 like you're supposed to where it's not damaging the equipment, it's expensive oil. But that's, again, my opinion.
Yeah.
Opti does void the warranty of your 2-strokes. And I don't care what Opti tells you, 100-to-1 mix and a 2-stroke void your warranty. And we can tell. Anybody that's been to school can tell.
My uncle
I
went
didn't
out
even know they
and bought
had
a
school
Husqvarnas.
for small engine.
He only runs the Husqvarna, their Husqvarna brand True Fuel they have in it.
Yeah, that Husqvarna sells Aspen mix. And they actually have a lot of classes. I've been to teardown schools. I've been to diagnostic schools, advanced diagnostic schools for some of the stuff. I've not been to steel classes, but I've been to Echo, Husqvarna training. And anybody who's been enough to the advanced classes can tell you that Opti's been running it. So, and they will void the warranty. In fact, you can tell in photos. So, doesn't matter if we void it or the main company does. It will void the warranty. So, we actually have to go to school every year.
Wow.
For each 2-stroke brand you carry, I've been phoning it in and not paying attention, but I've been passing the test, so they've been letting me slide. But that's why I haven't been paying attention to the oil mixes for the classes.
I need to finish up my Briggs cert. I've been working on it. I just haven't got around to finishing it up.
I can understand why they would remove the spark arrestor on the blowers. What level of Briggs certification are you working on? Master? Or?
Yeah, I'm working on the master.
They're about to reset that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so anything you've done is about to go away.
So I got to redo it again anyway.
Yep.
Mater, there's actually a guy that we know. He used to be on YouTube that's got some for sale, but he's in Magnolia, Texas. That's probably a pretty good piece from you. I haven't seen him on YouTube in forever. Remember Stacy Twister R Racing? I actually got some of the some of the certs already from Briggs and Stratton. I just didn't get the master. I guess I better wait until they reset and do it again, huh?
I don't know when it resets, but I'm pretty sure it's like December or January, to where you have to start all over.
Well, I didn't take any of the tests for that. I took some of their other little cert tests, but I've been doing my studying for the master cert.
Okay. If you haven't taken any tests, it doesn't matter, but it basically they'll wipe out all the test information.
Yeah.
In fact, I need to go make sure that mine's been extended for a year, because you have to take so many classes every year to keep it updated and make sure all that registers.
I think I've asked you this before, but you think that one place, that OPEI, their certs are worth it?
I've never taken it, so I don't know. Yeah, well, you can. They're a year basically. Then you have to update it. My shop's in Southern Illinois. I used to have one in Indiana as well, but that one's closed.
Yeah, Raleigh, when I said Robert Water does the same thing, he was talking about his wife helping him. I was like, well, that's kind of how Robert's shop is too. It's him and his wife, their team.
Yeah, my girlfriend used to help me out here in the shop once in a while whenever I got backed up on some stuff, but I always ended up having to go back and fix what she tried to do. Basically, the only thing that I hate to talk crap on her right now.
She's sitting right next to you?
No, I'm at the hotel room and she's in the hospital, but she's probably watching me right now and she's probably saying, I'm going to strangle him the next time he comes over here. But mostly what she was really good for was just the paperwork, just finishing up my paperwork and signing off that, yeah, the repair was done. That's about all she was good for. And taking people's money for me.
My wife does handle all the money. I always tell people I cut out the middleman. But she does handle all the cash.
When I first started out, my sisters and my mom did a lot of the office stuff. And then I got tired of doing it, and I was left doing it all by myself. It was nice not have to answer the phones.
I have to do that. I have to answer the phones. I tell her, hey, do we have this open? She does all of our scheduling. She tells me what we have coming in. She usually handles how much it's going to cost to get the repair done. Just usually all the bookkeeping ends, and I'm just the guy that looks pretty out in the shop tearing your engine apart.
My wife does some new mower sales, quite a bit of it. She actually does turn wrenches, but during the day she's got to watch the front. We have cameras so we can see from the back when people come in, but it's. She also does a lot of the computer design for some of our other stuff, and some of that work, because we do some custom metal work and 3D printing, as well as laser etching and vinyl work.
3D printing. What do you guys use your 3D printer for?
Primarily making junk. We thought we were going to make mower parts for it. We have made some switch boxes for light racks and stuff like that, but it's primarily absolute junk.
Because I heard some people are using their 3D printers. Some of the other shops, they use their 3D printers to print out like the old, for example, like the old Lawn Boy carburetor bowls and the whole Lawn Boy carburetor. They've been printing those up because you can't hardly find them.
They won't be. They won't hold up long term for gas. That's the problem with 3D printing. So
Okay.
I don't know why they would be doing that, but we were thinking like triggers or stuff like that, but it's too slow to realistically do it. I mean, it'd take 8 hours to do something small.
Yeah.
It's not that efficient.
I think the
but-
technology's getting better every day, though, on it.
Yeah.
It'll never be to the point where that really for production. Now, small lines. One of the things we'll do is like we'll put your name on a toolbox to make it look like a Snap-on logo, 3-dimensional, where you can paste it on your toolbox or something like that. Is more what we do with it. As I said, it's mainly junk. But my wife will also sit up here and rebuild carburetors for people or for stuff that I've got in the back. Rope start here and there. That sort of thing.
Yeah. When you get going pretty good, I'm going to save up the money and get you to make me a BS small engine sign for the shop. A small BS small engine sign for the shop.
Oh, with the plasma?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be fun. That's because the laser's not that big. We use it for cutting gaskets and stuff like that. But the plasma is going to be able to do a 5 foot by 5 foot sign. So that's going to be able to be doing a lot larger parts. And we're going to put a engraver on it too.
Well, that'll be cool.
Because it's got huge motors and will definitely handle stuff.
Yeah, there's going to be some cool videos you're going to be able to put out on that.
Yeah, and a lot of the parts, in fact, part of why it's down is my heater went out on my 3D printer, and I'm waiting on that. That's kind of why the plasma's not running right now. So
And I hear all the shipping companies are like behind right now on a lot of their stuff.
yeah, and I need a part to fix my 3D printer to finish my plasma for my Z-axis. I got to print the mounts to mount the wand to it. So, and technically, I probably have to make 2 mounts because one of the wands is the Saber style mount is on back order. So I'm gonna have to use the standard torch head on it, and then I'll have to redo it for the Saber. So.
I think my next build is going to be I've been wanting one. I want to build a belt grinder. It's just the motor is what's going to be so expensive. The parts, I could probably make the pulleys over here on the lathe.
Oh, you can. It's kind of hard doing flat belt pulleys on a lathe, but it can be done.
The tired pulleys that you use for the actual contact of the blade, you'll want to buy that.
Yeah.
That's $100, I think, somewhere around there.
I just want to be able to finish the our car build, our shop project vehicle. I just want to get that done right now.
Someday I'll do a car build. I want a 1948 Chevy 1-ton pickup.
Our shop is taking a 08 CRV and making it like an overland Baja off-road vehicle, and right now we're at a standstill because of A, the vehicle's already been hit twice, and B, we're not producing a lot of cash right now. We're just too small of a shop to really fork any more money into the vehicle.
My thing is I have to keep such a high reserve to keep me my warm and fuzzy feeling of staying in business. I essentially don't like to put money in unless it's all paid for and I've got a year's pay in the bank.
Well, luckily the Honda is paid off. We got that paid off about 2 months after owning the car. We managed to pay it off.
Paid off is for me. I'd have to
Yeah,
get
okay.
into that stage. I'd have to have a lot of extra cash because that would be a toy. So. But my next truck hopefully will be a 1940s Chevy to where I'll build it.
Yeah, I need to start looking into getting us or getting myself a better truck for towing. But when I bought the backhoe, it was the only vehicle we had I had that could tow it was my old 95 Bronco, and the poor girl was kind of struggling pulling that tractor. I mean, not in horsepower wise, it was just steering wise. We were having a little bit of trouble because it's a short wheelbase vehicle and we're towing just right at the truck's maximum towing capacity.
Yeah, I would say basically you're above max capacity on that short wheelbase. I doubt you would have been able to stop very quick.
Well, the truck has the electronic brake capability, and the trailer had electronic brakes. I felt like we could have stopped. The problem was steering. We had the torque, we had the horsepower, we just didn't have steering.
Well, that would be a problem.
Yes, it would be. So I'm hate to say this, but I am looking in for another vehicle for the channel and for towing such a large piece of equipment.
Y'all should have seen when this shed got brought in here. We used such a small flatbed tow truck to bring it in here. Luckily, it was only like a half a mile down the road. The truck could barely steer. But we went with the small flatbed because we had some power lines that was right there. If we would have went with the bigger one at my dad's company where he works, it wouldn't have fit through the power lines. We'd had to have the power lines took down and put back.
I drive a 3/4 ton now. I wouldn't want to go any smaller than that.
Yeah, I'm glad I got the old truck that I got now. I'm gonna put a flatbed on it because I think with a flatbed I won't have to pull my 16-foot trailer everywhere. I don't always need my 16-foot trailer.
That's kind of what I want. The 1-ton, I want to put a flatbed on it so I can go pick up steel without a trailer.
Yeah.
And strap it down. But I also want something that's interesting when people see it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get it, strip it down, paint the frame, do a frame up modification on it.
I was looking at one of those. This could be just the fact that I worked for Toyota. I was looking at like one of their Tacomas or Tundra trucks, maybe ripping the bed off it and doing a small flatbed on there. That way, for tractor show season, I can load 2 of my tractors or maybe 3 on the flatbed portion and just tow my small 10-footer with the rest of the tractors on it. And it'd be coming handy for hauling equipment and going out and getting some attachments.
Nothing wrong with a flatbed. I mean,
I
I
can't
always
go wrong with it.
I always hated the idea of loading them onto a truck all the time. As far as loading a mower onto a pickup truck,
Yeah,
so I'm not really figuring on that from a flatbed. But with the plasma cutter, we'll probably be doing a lot of steel runs, and that may be useful for a flatbed. We'll spend some money. I spend quite a bit per year. That's not going to be anything new.
I think I'm going to put a winch on my trailer for loading mowers, or on the flatbed when we put a flatbed on my truck, so I don't have to be on the mower when loading it.
Yeah, I've got a winch on one of the trailers. Definitely worth it. I'm a little leery of said pulling them up ramps because I've had bad experiences with that over the years.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm real scared about is ramps.
Well,
But
I was
granted,
thinking
I don't use them much.
Story. When I was growing up, we lived in this trailer park, and this kid we knew, his mom got killed while loading. This is a freak accident now. While loading a ride mower onto a pickup with ramps, smoking a cigarette. So when the mower flipped on top of her, the gas spilled out, caught fire, and she actually died because they couldn't get the mower off under her in time.
That's actually not as freak of an accident as you think.
Yeah.
I've had multiple customers get seriously injured, and a few over the years have died that way. Loading mowers. That is why, as soon as I turned 17, we no longer loaded a mower into the back of a pickup truck. So we got trailers, and used trailers from then on.
Yeah, that's why my shoulders are messed up and my neck is from loading mowers onto pickup truck and stuff. There's a few times I ain't had a ramp. We actually lifted the front end to the mowers, and they got behind it and lift the back end to the mowers up onto the trucks.
That was fine with the old rear engine snappers, but once you got into the tractors, that's not so fine.
No.
And I assume Patrick was saying I was going to spend some money rebuilding a pickup truck. Probably not as bad as you think. We priced it, and you could realistically redo a classic truck cheaper than you can buy a new one.
Yeah.
Not much if you got the equipment.
I mean, come on now. Most people's trucks these days, new trucks cost more than their houses.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I've got a full machine shop in the back, as well as a degree in electrical engineering. So I should be able to do the wiring and all that by myself.
Yeah, that's the one thing I can't do in our shop. Our shop will not do any wiring, like custom wiring in headlights or redoing wiring harnesses on some of the vintage tractors. We cannot do that because there's been too many times I've caught tractors on fire by just doing electrical work.
Oh, I lose money if I didn't do that on like zero turns and stuff. I lose money.
Can't.
I hate it. It's not the funnest thing to chase wiring issues, but I would lose money if I didn't do wiring.
We'll sit there and look up what gauge wiring we're supposed to use. We'll go by that. And somehow it's simple as like negative, negative, positive, positive. Boom, it catches fire. I'm not sure if it's the luck or I'm overseeing something, but it just positive, positive, negative, negative, fire. Even
I'll tell you
when I went to college and got trained on doing electrical.
Some of the stuff that I see, and Robert probably sees too, is somehow people with zero turns will catch the wiring, even though they got those guards on there, will somehow catch their wires and pull the wires loose.
Mhm.
I've seen it a few times. I don't
And a
know.
lot of companies use too small a wire, which causes it to heat up and catch fire easy.
Yeah, you can't use, and you also can't use the cheap wire. Like the tractors, the Harbor Freight brand wire is not really rated for automotive use.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, like Cub Cadet and all that, will come out with too small a wire in the first place, and there'll be fire hazards a little bit if anything goes wrong. Then when a guy bypasses a few safeties, one thing leads to another, and it could catch fire. I've never had one catch fire, but
Now, do you reconnect the safety switches? If a customer brings a tractor in and the safety switches are disconnected, do you reconnect them?
yes.
Okay. I'm glad I wasn't the only shop that does that.
It's a
Everybody will
liability
tell you
issue.
Yeah.
that you're the only one, and everybody will tell you you're too high. But yes, I reconnect them. I am not going to reconnect that seat safety from I think it's MTD that if you happen to they're unplugged, it doesn't work. I don't bother with that, but because what's the point? They're just going to unplug it when they get to the shop.
Yeah.
But anything major, I'll hook back up. But see, we got sued years ago for a chainsaw not fixing a chain brake. And technically, the lawsuit's interesting because what happened, the guy brought in the chainsaw and asked us to fix the chainsaw. We wouldn't fix the chainsaw unless he fixed the chain brake. He then picked up the chainsaw, refused to fix the chainsaw because obviously we wouldn't do it without fixing the chain brake. Took it someplace else. They fixed the chainsaw for him because minor problem. He went and cut his leg to where it had to be amputated, and then sued us because we didn't fix the chain brake. We won the lawsuit, but if we had fixed the chainsaw and didn't, the other guy lost the lawsuit. So if we had fixed the chainsaw without fixing the chain brake, our business would have went under.
And if you tried to fix, like, starting that back up, you probably still would have been screwed because word got out.
Well, actually, I don't think that customers necessarily want you to fix their the safeties they bypass. But unfortunately, with the way the law is, I have to.
Yeah.
Because if I don't fix it and they go out and hurt themselves with it, then unfortunately it's my fault. Because we don't require people to have brains. And everybody will tell you they won't sue you until they get in that position and they sue you.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Now, luckily, I've only been through it once.
I hope I don't ever have to. But granted, if a tractor comes in with the safety switch is disconnected, I test the safety switch, then connect it back up.
So Zaphael said, I actually talked about this the other day. A waiver don't always hold up in court.
Yeah, a waiver like that would not hold up in court.
So
now, it may get him not to sue you, but it would not hold up in court. In fact, that proves you saw it and didn't force him to fix it.
Yep.
So, in fact, now we did win on that court case because we told him that his chainsaw was not in operational condition, and we refused to fix it unless he fixed a chain brake. So, we did win that case.
Now, what was wrong with the chain brake, if you don't mind me asking?
If you actually run one with the braking gauge, you'll destroy that loop that holds the sprocket,
All right.
and that's basically what had happened. Essentially, what had happened was he needed a new fuel filter. That's all it was. And yeah, I remember it because we got sued. He took it to a shop. They popped the fuel filter out, sold him a new spark plug, put a new fuel filter in it, and sent him on his way. So we did not put what was wrong with it on the bill because I wasn't going to be involved.
Yeah. I don't know why someone wouldn't want that fixed. I use my chain brake on my chainsaw all the time.
Well, I think it was like a $70 repair or something like that because it was an expensive part for that particular saw. They're not all $70, but you know, I think that one was a little bit overpriced because you had to buy like the entire side piece of the saw or something like that.
Made it all as one unit.
Yeah, I mean, and realistically, you could have replaced that part, but you couldn't buy just that part or something like that.
Yeah, they wanted you to replace it all as one giant unit.
Yeah, I'd have to go back to the book to get that detailed of what it was. We still have records on it because the fact that we got sued. I mean, again, I won in court, so I guess I probably could throw away the records, but
I would have taken something like that, framed it, and hang it up in the shop. This is what happens when you try to sue me for something that wasn't our fault.
My experience, FIL, is waivers of that nature do not hold up in court. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to take any chances with my livelihood because the guy that lost that lawsuit is no longer in business, and I am. So, looks like I won. And a $10 or those jobs just aren't. There's not enough margin in it to make it worth it. It's not. There's not enough margin in it to go to court. So. You just
Because if you think about it, even if you win the lawsuit, you're still out money because you're out because either lawyer or your time. In this industry, time is money.
And there's not enough. High end on a job for a safety issue, you're looking at a $50 deal. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're backed up. We're not, sitting here typically in season when this stuff happens. And people are bringing this stuff in, there's another guy to take your place if you turn down the repair and you don't want your mower fixed because I'm going to charge you to fix your safety. There's another guy that'll slide into your slot. So looking at it from my standpoint, I can't spend 2 days in court if you happen to sue me. So I'll take the next guy.
Exactly.
That will accept it that can't sue me.
There is no shame in turning down repairs.
So, you just got to look at it from that. You won't find a good mechanic. Now, you may find them that will ignore it and not see it. But if you got something blatant that they can't ignore, it's in their way, they're going to fix it.
I turned down a repair on a rear engine mower. The deck was completely rusted out. I was like, that's a safety issue. I'm not working on it. I sent it on down the road.
Yep, you have to. I mean, those jobs just don't pay enough for the liability.
Nope.
You got to look at it. If it's not a profitable job, you can't do the work. Yep. And it's nothing against the customer. But, it's a business. You have to make money, and either you're going to rip off somebody or you're going to have to do it that way.
The customer asked me what he should do with it. I said, honestly, if it was my piece of machinery, I would take it up to the scrap yard and just dump it out because it's not fixable. It's a cheap rear engine riding mower. It's not worth the fix, even if you did find a deck.
And you would probably pay an arm and a leg for just a deck.
Yeah. A lot of those decks were like $700-800 anymore.
Yeah, I
I
know a
back in.
guy.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I know a guy replaces his deck. He has a residential zero turn that he uses for commercial, and he replaces it at least once a year because of his employees hitting jumping curbs with it.
I know back in 76, my grandfather, when he owned my John Deere, he hit something with it and it screwed the deck up something fierce. John Deere wanted almost $1,000 back in 75, $1,000 for the mower deck alone for that tractor. He sat there with the oxyacetylene and fixed it himself, but he wasn't going to be mowing anyone else's property with it.
You'd be shocked at what courts actually do. The FIL, trust me. They'll actually get involved with. I had one guy, now I didn't get sued for this, but the court got involved because I wouldn't deliver his mower for free because he didn't have the money to pay me for it. They'll actually get involved in stupid stuff. Trust me.
Anything to make him money.
Courts will get involved with all kinds of stupid crap.
Yeah, because anytime anybody goes to court, they're making money.
I mean, I had a guy call the courthouse because he wanted me to. I fixed his mower, his commercial cutter, didn't want to pay me for it, and I can't hold a mower for a commercial guy in this state at least that you fixed. If he makes a living with it, he doesn't have to pay his bill to pick it up. Now he still supposedly has to pay his bill, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's another court case.
Yeah.
But the courts called me to let me know that he was going to be coming up there with the sheriff to pick it up, so that I could take my parts off. One of the state's attorney did. He actually wanted me to deliver it for free. The guy did.
We do not pick up or deliver repair. We don't pick up anything that needs repaired, and we do not deliver anything that's been fixed.
I do.
Yeah, honestly, you actually get more business when you do. Some people are willing to pay a lot more if you do it.
That's actually what happens, FL. I pulled the parts off. He got his mower back. It just wasn't running. And I did not put his other parts back on. I gave them back to him, but I didn't put them back on.
I've seen this many a times. Put the parts in like a bag and just put it on the mower and sit it on down the road.
That's what I did. Luckily, the worst one, a guy gave me $1,000 bad check because he had me put solid tires on it and all kinds of stuff. I fixed his engine, put solid tires on it, and I said about $1,000. He wrote me a bad check. That's the worst one I've ever gotten. The guy came back, and I'd forgotten about him. All right. But he comes back and he bitches about the electrical repair not lasting. It was 4 years later, and it wasn't actually the same problem. But he came in and he said, "Well, your repair didn't hold." So we looked back up and see if we were going to repair it for free, because we did the job, right? Let's fix our repair. And later, Patrick, then we found out his $1,000 check was in his stapled to his ticket that he didn't pay. So we took our parts back off of that one. He came in and paid it.
Believe it or not, Raleigh, shops around here charge more than $5 a day storage fee.
We do $15 storage up here
Per day?
per day.
I don't charge anything extra, but I need to. I have had guys leave it a year before.
And usually, if it's, I mean, if we have it in our storage building, which is my personal storage garage with all my equipment, if it's there for over a year, we'll call and we do try to get a hold of the customer as much as possible and tell them, hey, you have this piece of equipment in our storage. When would be a good time for you to come pick it up? And we do tell them there was a storage fee that's attached to your bill. Sometimes they just don't, and we tell them, hey, if it's here more than a year, it's going to auction. Because it's taking more time, it's taking up space in our building.
Yeah.
Here it's only 60 days, but I usually give people a little bit longer than that. Really hate when people don't want to pay and let stuff set, but it happens.
Yeah. And usually when we take stuff out to be sold, we make our money back on the repair and the storage.
Yeah, see, I've never actually sold something. I've just scrapped it.
I do that a lot. I take quite a few 16-foot trailers to the scrapyard a year, unfortunately. It's usually weed eaters, though. That's why I stopped doing weed eaters.
Our scrapyard just loves to screw you over.
Well, at least you ain't paying the city to take it, because if you take it to the city, they'll charge you. If you take it to the dump, they're going to charge you. So even if you're getting a few dollars,
plastic off, stack the aluminum in the corner. I've got half that back warehouse is full of bins of aluminum, where we've stripped the engines down.
Yeah.
Through we got buckets and buckets of bolts that guys will sometimes take to the steel yard and scrappers will take. But all the engine, the aluminum from all the two-stroke engines and all that are thrown in those big chemical bins.
Mm-hmm.
Got that lined up in the back warehouse. I'm hoping to someday melt it all down and turn it into rounds for my lathe.
That's what I want to do. If I'm going to start getting back into two-strokes, I want to start having a bin just for all the aluminum I want to melt down.
I've got 10 years worth of it.
Wow.
All disassembled to where we pulled the aluminum out and threw the steel in other piles. The steel will get hauled off, but it's all aluminum.
I got some aluminum right here that needs to go into a pile. That's the carburetor off that Chinese four-wheeler.
Well, some of that stuff I would have thrown in the metal because it's got some steel in it. It's just too much to deal with. I'm talking like heads and pistons and stuff like that. But I've probably, I don't know, I bet there's 40 foot of wall space back there with pallet racking going up there, stacks and stacks of aluminum. One of these days I'll get a forge or a furnace set up to melt aluminum.
I'm gonna try, like we were talking about the last time he was on here, turning that my forge up on its side, get some like Firestone and put a brick to put under it, and see if I can do it that way.
I just need to figure out a way to get waste oil to be burned in a furnace. Use that as the primary heat to melt down the aluminum, because I got gallons of that stuff.
I've thought about that, but when you get coolant and all that mixed in, it just a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I've actually seen that done in person, and those sound like jet engines. Those get a lot hotter than a propane one. You can actually melt down cast iron with them, like the cast steel, like the brake rotors. Yeah. It's actually really dangerous running one of those because they get a lot hotter.
I may look into that because I've got somewhere around. I typically will have around 400 gallon of oil, used oil around here. at any given time. So
We have a 155-gallon drum up in the storage building that we use for. I hate that. I know people in the EPA are gonna freaking rip me a new one, but we use it for our own vehicles. We go underneath and spray them and keep the rust at bay, and use it for our personal mower decks. We'll go underneath and just use it for rust repellent.
a lien takes too much money for what we're dealing with. I mean, a lot of my repairs are I'm losing money getting a lien.
Yeah.
I mean, just you really want to pick it up in this industry. It's the bills are too cheap.
And people think we want their stuff. We don't want your junk. We want you to pick it up so we can get paid. We don't want your junk. Most of us probably have enough of our own junk laying around. We don't need yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what you end up doing is dealing or keeping it for about a year, and then it's abandoned property and hard to get. You know, if they've left it a year, they're not going to win in any court case.
Yeah.
Realistically, so then you can get rid of it. Because then there's no way to claim it wasn't abandoned.
Yeah. And unless it's a nice mower, I don't store it. If it's a nice mower, I'll store it in my barn. But if it's just an old junk mower, I'll put it up beside my boneyard and let it sit for a year. I'm not taking up the good space.
Yeah, my uncle left one here for 3 years. I ended up finally selling it, but I kept it that long because he was family.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me. I got a little Kubota LT something that's taking space up in my building. It's been up there for just, I think, 2 weeks. It'll be a year. It's been sitting up there. I could take that out to the farm sale and get rid of it.
Yeah. Most of the time, I just pick the wall.
I had a guy come buy all my stuff not too long ago. He gave us $2,000 and he brought out all our push mowers that was back beside the barn, the riding mowers. It's like, man, we're just gonna take these to the scrapyard anyway. You take them, $2,000, bring it on.
I wish somebody did that to my scrapyard.
You wouldn't even get that much out of our scrapyard. Our scrap,
No.
I've maxed out. I had to borrow my buddy's Power Stroke truck. We maxed out that truck. We used his 20-foot box trailer, or what is it? The breed trailer, whatever the crap it's called. We filled his truck to the top, maxed out the trailer, and took to our local scrapyard. They reamed us on price. It wouldn't even cost the diesel to drive from my shop to the scrapyard.
We get usually I might make $100 if that when we go to the scrapyard. It's not about making money. It's about not having to pay the city to the dump to take it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to really make money on scrap metal. I don't know. I know there's all kinds of people, I guess, that are doing it, but in a lot of the country, it's difficult to make money on scrap.
At
We
one
make
time,
more
it
taking
was-
to auction.
At one time, there was pretty good, decent amount of money, but the prices dropped several years back, and like a little trailer load would bring you $200 or $300 in scrap. Now a trailer load, you'll be lucky to get even $100.
Now there's still scrappers that are making money at it, so
Yeah, but they're doing it like every day, nonstop.
because that's who takes our steel off. Is typically scrappers. And then every once in a while, we'll get a dumpster and fill it with plastic if we have taken in too much.
I used to give away to a scrapper, and then he decided at first, well, I'm going to charge you to haul it off. And then he decided, oh, well, I need you to load it for me, too. It's like, nope. I'll just take it myself. I got a trailer.
We've got a guy that comes and gets ours, but I'll fill his trailer, and I actually load it for him. But we'll completely fill the trailer up, and we'll stack like decks and frame
charging me.
Ours, we actually, since we've culled the aluminum out, we can actually stack frame parts and decks, and I can fill a trailer.
Yeah.
Because I cull all my aluminum and copper and all that. I've also got entire bins full of copper.
I thought about getting like a junkier trailer just to put the, because I really hate taking my nice trailer into the scrapyard because you pick up nails and stuff in your tires. I thought about getting like a junkier trailer just for hauling scrap to the dump. Or to the
Trailer
scrap.
licensing is too expensive for that.
I thought maybe I'd get one of those cheap pickup bed trailers and take in.
I'd go to Harbor Freight and get one of their cheap trailers and just build a wooden box
I
on it.
haul too much for that.
No, it won't haul enough weight. And you got to get basically you got to get dump trailer if you're hauling much.
Yeah. I take probably about 2 ton at a time usually.
I got nothing. I'll even haul 2 ton.
Really, is that
I guarantee you there's scrappers around that'll be that way. They're bold on some of them. We used to leave it out to where the scrappers, we'd have this big plastic bin out there, and they would complain that we took the good stuff out. It's like, it's our crap. Take it or not. I don't care.
Yeah. That's what I usually do. I don't give them the aluminum and stuff.
Well, I also like to completely disassemble the mowers, because then a lot of times they're repairable mowers, and the reason we didn't repair them was the price, and the customer just left it. Well, then somebody will go, well, I fixed it. Well, yeah, you spent $500 fixing the damn thing, or even $200, and the customer didn't want to pay that. But it's more headache, so it's easier to have it a totally trash lawnmower that nobody can fix.
I usually pay my nephew to go and do it, and like if there's anything, I don't use a whole lot of used parts, but if there's something that might be rare or something, I'll get him to save it and put it back up in the barn, because you never know.
Well, I've got collections of flywheels, used starters, a lot of used parts technically. I've got used heads out there, and I'll keep the engines every once in a while.
I try to keep as much of the engines as possible.
On some occasions, I don't like to swap engines on mowers, tractors, because I can't get much money for them. So, but on some occasions, I'll pop a new motor on a lawnmower or something like that that I'd used or whatever. If I could fix it and sell it, most likely I'll fix it when somebody leaves it. But in that case, I'd also most likely telling the customer to fix it, or trying to talk them into it.
Yeah.
Because they can make money at it. When I make them prepay, it's not worth the money they're putting in it.
I got a still string trimmer and a John Deere push mower that the guy he left it here probably in June. He said, "Well, I'll come. I told him what it needed." And some of my customers, I've actually got where I do this a lot more than I used to. I'll charge a part deposit. It's got that way because I've had so many people flake on me like that, and he never came back for it, so it's still sitting up in my field.
What for? To keep your copper in 55-gallon drums. In our community, those shuttles, we can come by those every so often. They're not free, but you can get them for like $50. So we actually use those shuttles for aluminum. We'll cut the top out and just fill it up.
What does everybody do with their copper? I sell it insulated copper. I don't have time to go through and strip all that. I think you lose money anyway because you lose the weight. So you're getting more for the clean copper, but you're losing weight, so you ain't
I have my copper in a 55-gallon drum. I got a 55-gallon drum pretty much full of it. I have no idea what to do with the copper.
I just sell it to the junkyard as insulated copper. It's usually about 55 cents a pound.
I've all of my stators and windings that we've cut out of motors and stuff, or little starter motors. I've got a 55-gallon drum full of copper, but I keep thinking I'm going to use it for something like melt it down and cast it.
Right.
But I
You
just
know what I've saved a lot to fix, like mostly my own personal stuff, is if I get like the extra wire when I rewire a trailer, I'll save that extra wire to fix something. Usually on my personal stuff. If it's just like a small wire that I need.
well, that I keep. I mean, I've got rolls and rolls of that in the shop. Use it for little electronics projects, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like a stator or something like that's what's in the drum. And
I try my best to rebuild as many of the starters, or well, I deal with the old vintage stuff, so I try to do rebuild the starter generators and the old starters as much as possible.
hard to rebuild a starter if I can replace it for $70.
Yeah, it's not worth it anymore.
So, and
I've done it on a starter generator one time that a personal garden tractor I had, but I replaced the brushes and the post in there.
And that's actually what my wife. One of the things my wife does is she'll cut up the starters, basically cut the copper out of it. She'll just take it all the way apart. She's the reason we had the 55-gallon drum full of copper. Is she'll take the time to strip all that. She was also one of them wanting to cast the copper, so sooner or later we'll probably do that because that's kind of her thing is casting.
I want to try it. It sounds like it'd be fun.
Casting aluminum is very easy. I've never tried copper. I've just sat there with the oxyacetylene and just melted copper or aluminum down. But I've never tried copper. I want to try it just for the lathe, just see how my lathe would turn copper.
That's kind of where we are. I mean, she's got her own lathe. She's got the smaller of the two lathes we own. It's a Craftsman. It was built in the 1920s. It's a little.
That's about the same age as mine.
Yeah, basically, it's a real small lathe. That's kind of where that comes from. The aluminum is more my thing, but I never have done either of them. So
I've tried aluminum on my lathe. My lathe just it's too old really to be handling some of the really tougher stuff like steel. I just want to try doing aluminum. I've tried aluminum, and it just gets all stringy and it catches into the bearings.
if it's a small enough lathe, it struggle with aluminum anyway.
Oh, it's not little. I got a 16-inch swing on a 6-foot working length on mine, but it's 19. Things like somewhere around 1919.
I've never had a problem with any of my South Bend or with my South Bend lathe. We have not done anything but turning a little bit of wood on hers. And I know you're not supposed to, but whatever.
I was about to actually ask someone that earlier tonight because I needed to make like a little wood peg down, and I was afraid to do it on my metal lathe.
That's what they make wood lathes for.
The reason for you can turn wood on a metal lathe, but the problem is the sawdust basically will wear on your ways a little bit much.
Gotcha.
I would think her kiln may get up that hot, Zaphael. But I don't know. My wife likes crafting, but on a different level than most women. And we find some of that stuff at auctions. Like we bought her a kiln for $30. So,
I used to find good deals like that at auction, and in the last year or so, people has run the prices up so high.
my wife, that is her best feature. She can find crap, and I will tell her she's smoking dope. What she thinks she's going to pay for it, and we will do it. I mean, she bought me a jet table saw for $300. Barely used. 15 amp table saw.
Wow.
Now, drug it home, set it up, used it for ripping some sheets of plywood to put down flooring. Decided it was too much for the shop and sold it.
I still have the old table saw my grandfather used when he turned my shop, like before I turned it into a small engine shop. He used it as a wood shop. I still have his old radio arm saw. I sold his little wood lathe, but I use his big old table saw as just a bench now, just something to store the old vintage engines in our shop.
There's a wood shop across the street, and he's probably the best friend I have in town. So, the problem with us owning a table saw is, I can tell the guy when he stops in sometime during the week that I got a project and this is the measurements I need for wood, and the wood will show up cut, and I won't even pay for the wood because it'll be using scraps for some other project. So it's kind of hard to beat that, you know.
Yeah.
There's no saw that does it for you, and the other guy does. So
Most of my projects I've ever done was either scrap wood or scrap metal. It's very rare that I actually buy wood or metal.
well, this guy owns a cabinet shop. He sells high-end kitchen cabinets, and now I plywood I buy, but typically the way we buy it is when he's going in for an order, he'll throw on a couple sheets and show or give me the receipt for my wood. So
you're getting at his prices.
right, and it's delivered. He brings it to his shop, cuts it, and delivers it cut. So
Yeah, if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, that wood right there gets expensive quick.
yeah, I have not been to Lowe's or Home Depot for wood in years because, as I said, I don't. And technically, if I paid a little extra, it wouldn't matter because it's coming in cut.
Yeah.
Like the room we're building, all the plywood and all the now the drywall he'll just deliver. We'll cut that ourselves. But when he's out getting the stuff, he'll throw the drywall in the back of his trailer, and it's enclosed, and he's going to deliver that to us because he's got to go get wood anyway.
Yeah.
So he just sometime, I think tomorrow, he's bringing the drywall in for our room, and that'll be just probably on the top of whatever wood he bought. I know he's bringing it from Kentucky somewhere. I don't know where.
Used to never get, when we lived in Kentucky, we used to never get wood from like Lowe's or Home Depot. My granddad always went to sawmills.
He's going to the sawmill for the wood, but I think it's like some like 84 lumber or some crap is where he's getting the drywall.
My uncle is planning. He's bought that. The process, the paperwork process of finishing up the deal on the land that he's buying. He plans on getting one of those portable sawmills.
Yeah, one of the wood misers.
He wants to saw some of his own lumber.
The cabinet maker has some of that, or has a wood miser as well, because there's a tree trimmer that he does business with, and he was getting him lumber. I don't know how well that's worked out. I've got a few rough cut pieces for some art projects, and that was kind of cool. But I haven't done much with it.
We don't have really good quality wood here in Central Texas, so I would like to make my own hatchet handles and axe handles, but we don't really have that kind of quality wood here.
I don't think I'm going to get to the level of melting tungsten. Is that
Oh,
right?
that takes a lot of heat to do that.
I'm not sure what temperature her kiln will get to. I'm not sure we'll be able to melt the copper, but I don't know about the. Right now, she's keeping it because she wants the copper for her lathe. She's got a 55-gallon drum of copper and about a 5-gallon drum of brass.
Hey, Zaphael, look up Clark's Easterling at Windy Hill Foundry. I actually met that guy, and he's a pretty cool guy. And he actually does cast steel.
Wow, now that takes some temperature.
And that's what they like a wasteful. His setup's kind of a wasteful unit. It uses the diesel mixed in with the oil that shoots down. It sounds like a jet when he turns it on. It's really, really loud.
I just don't trust myself with the propane. I just don't trust myself making a propane fired foundry. I
It's
figure
pretty
waste oil would be
safe.
safer.
The way it's set, these setups for the burners and stuff, it's pretty safe.
Well, if we ever do it, we've got a blacksmith shop that's not attached to anything. And if it goes up in flames, oh well. Far enough away, we could catch it and keep it under control. So, whatever. And
I'd
that's
have to
where
do
our
my
foundry's
stuff
gonna be.
outside.
Yeah. Well, I want it under roof. Yeah. Much better that way. But the floor is concrete. The walls are all cinder block. Good exits on it. That's probably where we'll put the foundry.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the safest thing. Because if it burns, you ain't got a whole lot to burn in there.
Yeah, I mean,
The roof.
and that's pretty much all it's going to be in there. It's going to be stuff to melt aluminum or whatever. Maybe up to copper. I don't know. We'll see.
Windy Hill Foundry. Here, let me see if I can find this link for you. I should be able to run a link. Raphael. It's just moderators can't run links now for some reason, from what I understand. ProStream did it.
Technically, Zaphael, all you need is a drip furnace for a waste oil furnace. Problem with the waste oil furnace
What's
is
a drip furnace?
it's basically an oil drip for it. Essentially, you can turn a wood furnace into a waste oil, but now they'll burn hot. All it is a drip of oil into a pot to burn.
I think I got some oil up out there that would burn really hot. I got a few buckets of oil from those Intech Intech engines with the Nicky carburetors that hydro locked.
Oh, those will burn real quick. That's good fire starter.
Yeah, you don't want to put that in a waste oil furnace, though. It flares up.
Probably turn into a bomb.
No, it'll just flare up. Not if it's built right. But the dripple furnaces burn. The problem is they're nasty and they're just disgusting to deal with.
Yeah, I would have to, if I did it, I would do it outside with one like that.
Yeah, we may go that route for the to melt aluminum, use waste oil because we have so much oil. But I don't know.
Well, I posted the link anyway, Raphael.
Yeah, if you're gonna actually melt steel, you're gonna have to atomize it and have a basically a blower and oil. But if you're just going to heat a building, you may be able to use the drip oil. In fact, I don't know if I could use a drip furnace to melt aluminum.
If you look it up, there's a few people that does it. They don't show like the best systems, but
You can use a drip furnace.
yeah, it's like a lot of it, and it's mostly they're mostly using it for aluminum. I think you do have to mix in like a little diesel in it. You can't just use straight. You have to put a little bit of diesel in with it. There's like a mixture you have to mix in.
Yeah, because you have to thin it,
Yeah.
especially with lawnmower oil. But or at least I could see that. I've not done much with that stuff. I've watched some videos on it. We talked about it. But
I've
that's
just seen like
beyond.
the homemade stuff, like the King of Random. I've followed that build, but that's about as far as I've looked into.
Does he still? Do they still post videos on the King of Random?
Yes, even though Grant is dead, they've still been posting videos regularly. Because
Yeah.
my niece and nephew are big fans of that. They just like coming up here, and I let them do like help them do like some of the little projects.
I knew him before he got that channel started.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be active on a website called Instructables
Mm-hmm.
before he started the King of Random. He was always an arrogant man, but he was interesting back then. So I did see where he had died.
Yeah.
Instructables is a cool website if you're ever looking for different projects.
Yeah, I've looked into that website before.
I had some of the stuff I was in a popular mechanics book with him. That's how I met him. Odd to think I was published in Popular Mechanics. Embarrassing what I was published for.
Now you got me wondering, what was it?
Now you'll never see it because that. Let's just say it's embarrassing. Not my finest work, but it did make it on into Popular Mechanics in one of their books. But and it is published under my name. There was a book written about, and it was pretty much all guys from Instructables when it was first started. And I was in there, and so's the Grant. He's in the book.
Well, after watching some Mr. Pete videos, I was able to make a point on a piece of metal.
That's actually an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a life center.
I've been looking more into that, turning a taper on a lathe. You ever watch This Old Tony?
Yeah, I've watched that. This old Tony, Mr. Pete. I like watching Mr. Pete because he uses the Atlas lathe, which is what makes Craftsman lathe. So they're pretty much the same setups.
I think Mr. Pete's a better teacher than this old Tony.
Yeah.
Well,
But he was a shop teacher.
some of those machinist guys, they'll get like really into it. Like, you know, a lot of them's engineers. They'll get into all the like the big numbers and stuff. So if you're just learning this stuff,
it's kind of
difficult.
intimidating.
There's math in doing this, but
Yeah.
they like to bring out a lot of it when they're teaching.
I wish I had the chance because Mr. Pete had a couple open houses at his house, and he's not that far from me, but
Yeah, I think what is he? He's like in Peru or Illinois or something like that, ain't he?
he's in up near Chicago, I think, somewhere around there. Not too far from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instructables is kind of like YouTube. It'll get you in trouble. But because most of the people there don't know what they're talking about, but some do. It was a good place to get free crap back in the day. When it first started up, they were giving away free tools if you won projects or contests, and we used to enter and get free tools. Back in probably 08 or whatever it was. Our first YouTube video that hit 1 million views was an Instructables video. it's gone.
Back
And
in
I-
08, I wasn't doing the whole YouTube thing. I was more into the forums. In fact, I owned a couple.
I had a forum back in '97 or '98, something like that. But
And
I
those
didn't
are
even have a
starting to
computer.
die out on Facebook and stuff.
I
2008, I was still figuring out how to use my typewriter.
in '08 was when we got into I think it was '08, '09, something like that, when we got into Instructables, because they were giving away free tools and some free. I got a couple T-shirts from them, and we won a couple prizes. My wife and I did.
Yeah, back then I was really into coding, like websites and stuff.
Yeah.
Now I don't hardly remember much any of that. I can still build a website, but I don't really remember as much as I used to on that.
If you're going to erase this, I'll actually tell what the project what got published for was. Are you keeping this video forever?
No, I've been deleting these videos afterwards. These.
Sandy night was an Instructables contest, a pocket contest. So we came up with the joke of making a pocket pool table, machined it all out, did all of it, and the fact of it is, I actually made it out of an Altoids tin that had all the measurements of an actual professional pool table, shrunk down with brass carved pool sticks, and we made all the balls out of clay that covered DDs, and everything was absolutely the same measurements. That's actually what we got published for. Nothing advanced.
I wouldn't be ashamed of that. That sounds badass.
It sounds like a fun build.
I mean, just walk up to. I could just, if you still had that, man, you could just walk up to your buddy, and be like, "Yo, you want to play some pool?" and whip out this little pool table and say, "Let's go right here."
But it was
$8 a ball right here.
But it was a pocket pool table because I wanted to make a joke about playing pocket pool. And it made it into Popular Mechanics.
Do you still have like all the plans for it?
It's in it. I actually have the book, the Popular Mechanics book.
I actually think that's very cool. I actually want one of those right now.
I don't have the thing anymore, but they gave me a copy of the book. It's a hardback book. I got it somewhere. It's in the back office behind some cabinets. But because we thought it was kind of cool that I was published in a Popular Mechanics book. Yes, actually, it did. We got a hold. We used not the proper slate, but we used a chalkboard slate to claim it was a slate pool table.
I mean,
And we
that would save
covered
me
it
and my
in-
friends so much money in going out and shooting pool, because around here it's $1 for a game of pool.
So yes, it was actually, that was part of the joke. Is it had it slate? It was felt covered. It was a complete and utter joke. It was not intended to win. We happened to be at a thrift store, and they had some chalkboard slates, and came up with the idea. It was a contest. As I said, it was to win something. We didn't think it was going to win. We did win with that one too, but it was a utter joke.
Yeah, but it sounds like it was a fun, like, little project that you just do.
Yeah,
Little indeed.
we made it in a day. It was made in an Altoids tin. It was as I said, it was a complete joke. We drilled the slate to where we set it up in the Altoids tin to where it actually had the little pockets for it, and we baked all the balls and painted those where they were the right color. We couldn't put the numbers on them; they were too small. But we had all the balls made out of clay, with the correct colors on them, and made a little brass triangle for it to put the balls in. It took about a day and a half to make it all, but it was an utter joke. It was never supposed to win. It was never supposed to be anything, and I'm not even sure it's still on the site. But I got a letter
do that.
from Popular Mechanics asking me if they could publish it, and I thought it was funny, so I said yes, thinking it was a spam or fake. And then about 4 months later, I got a copy of my book in the mail. And then there was something to do with it on Instructables because I think it was like 20 of their people had been published authors at that point now. And when Popular Mechanics got all that entire book off of Instructables, so there was a little live stream thing where we could all talk to each other. So, and King of Random was in that because he was published in that book. So I said it was a joke.
That's just sounds like the most badass little thing on the planet.
I said it was not intended to be, and it wasn't as badass, I don't think, but
Projects like that are good stress relievers. You just sit in there and just make stuff like that. They're good stress relievers.
yeah, I think we got a drill or something out of that. But one of my projects like that is how I got my oscilloscope that I got in the back, and we've won thousands of dollars out of that stupid crap. So, oh wait, no, the oscilloscope was I designed a system to measure the heart rate of a football team. It would measure the heart rate of every football player on the team and keep track of it. So you can check for heart arrhythmia. Was what the oscilloscope got me. The oscilloscope.
That's pretty cool.
I built a project. I sent it to oh hell, I don't remember what college it was. I built 2 of them, and they reproduced the rest of them and tested it at one of the colleges. That was a winning project, so I got an oscilloscope because it worked, and they were using it on something. I don't know.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to go in. It's getting cold out here in my shop.
Yeah, that's a good time to kick on the forge, isn't it?
All right, I'm afraid that little forge is a little wonky. I'm afraid to run it indoors. I'm afraid to get dicarbonate monoxide poisoning.
Oh, it just messes with your brain,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what's wrong with me now.
I got to get some sleep too. So, but sorry for taking up your last year's chat with the pool table thing.
Honestly, Robert, if you can find the plans for that, do you mind sending that to me? Because I would actually enjoy making something like that on my old lathe.
I'll see if I can find the book. I know it was published in the Popular Mechanics, so the plans still exist. Because I do have the book. Because there was, I know there was some stuff said by my brother, and he didn't believe I was published, so he kept the book to show my nieces and nephews that I had something published by Popular Mechanics, even if it was stupid.
Right? Hey, at least you can say no. Not everybody can say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you think it was stupid, you got published. So
yeah, I mean, I had a project published. Now, a heart rate monitor that monitored the entire football team, that wasn't published. A pocket pool, that was published.
It's little stuff like that gets published.
You know?
Maybe they caught the joke of pocket pool.
I don't know. It was written up a lot more serious than what I did.
Yeah.
They even had an artist actually redo all my drawings to make them look better. I mean, it's got serious diagrams, everything, 3-dimensional art, beautiful renditions of it.
They would have to do it with if I had never gotten published on something like that because my drawings for some of my plans are not the best.
Well,
I don't even use plans.
It was a joke, so we didn't put too much in it. I mean, we barely produced it. All we used to produce it was a drill press, some glue, and a lathe.
I mean, I don't even use plans for half the stuff I build. Like the 3-point hitch, I didn't even use plans for that. The can crusher, I didn't even pull out a measuring tape to make that thing.
If you want to win on Instructables, you have to. The plans were done after we actually did the project. And I'm not sure the project was perfect as the plans were. I mean, I said it was just a joke. We threw it away when we were done.
Yeah, old school. Some of my projects are done like that. I don't do it, but some of my bigger projects, I'll think about it for a while, and I have a notebook by my bed, and I just kind of draw in there and doodle in there and figure out the measurements in my head.
I mean, I'm sure that the plans look a lot better in the Popular Mechanics book than what I had. But
yes, FAL, it's cold here.
Yeah,
It's frigid up here.
cold is relative.
I can tell y'all how cold it is right now.
I mean, I had a hard time getting the car to move out of the parking garage a couple hours ago.
Well, a couple of days ago, my truck, diesel truck, was froze up.
Well, it's warmer than it was a few days ago, but it's still 46 degrees.
20. I think when I got in the car, it said 20 degrees. But grant the car was encased in a cement parking garage with some ice holding the tires to the concrete.
Are you there because of the hospital?
Yes. I hate this. I mean, she's kind of like my girlfriend, but also kind of not in a way. It's a messed up relationship. But she got into a bad accident over a snowstorm we had. She rolled her car, screwed up this thing called a VP shunt in her head, and just yesterday they went in, did surgery to correct and replace it in the right position, seal it from leaking, and she's been recovering since. And I haven't missed a single one of those surgeries since me and her have been together. I haven't missed one.
That sucks. So.
It sucks, but as I could safely say, love makes you do stupid shit.
Yeah.
I've literally left right in the middle of a very important college class that would shape my whole entire mechanic career just because she was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Luckily, my teachers record my fellow classmates, which God, I love them to death. They recorded my classes for me. They took notes for me, and my teachers, as much as, I mean, I love them. I would literally freaking take a bullet for them guys. They held all my tests and still gave me my credits while I was in the hospital with her.
What are you studying in college?
I'm actually I've been graduated now for a year. I went to Rosedale Technical College for diesel technology. I wanted to really get into farm equipment repair and agricultural equipment repair, but I in turn ended up working on semi trucks and mild heavy equipment.
Problem with heavy equipment is heavy parts.
Yes, and I realized that after I started working on semi trucks, I'm like, all these parts are easily going to crush me.
Yeah, that's actually the reason I'm in small engines, probably.
That's
I
why
actually used
I
to
got
do,
out of diesel heavy
robotics.
equipment immediately.
But there's not much of that in the country, so
Yeah, my uncle is a heavy diesel mechanic, and he's broke down in his back and everything so bad over the years of doing it.
technically the principles are all the same. It's just the parts are heavier.
Yep.
Exactly. As when I started, my teacher told the whole class, and this is a christening in our school. Your first week at class, you are no longer going to be called by your first and last name. You're going to be called by the nickname they give you. But that first day, he said it doesn't matter what you're going to do after this. You can go from, if you can work on diesel, you can work on anything.
Technically, diesels are simpler than gas, but
Yeah, but he said, with all the emissions crap diesel trucks are under, all the computer stuff under, he basically told us, once you're out of here, you can go straight into working in a dealership, be working on cars, you could be working on trucks. He looked at me and said, you could be working on farm equipment, but you won't be dealing as much as the DF bull crap.
you are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm certified on diesel, but I've never been to college for it. So
Once I got out of high school, I was ASC certified in heavy truck steering, suspension, electrical, drivetrains, braking systems, and engine straight out of high school.
I'm not ASE certified. I'm certified by Shapira and Caterpillar, or was at different times. I think my Shapira stuff I'm keeping up. The Caterpillar I can't. I don't have access to their education system anymore.
Yeah. Out of college, I got my Snap-on scan tool certifications and multimeter certifications.
They have a scan tool certification?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And I also got my Class A CDL with hazmat and oversized load.
I don't have that either.
I'm tested all the way up to a 100-foot trailer, but I'm not certified for tanker. I cannot take tanker because it was, I think he said it was like $100 or $20 more.
Well, I can see why you have to be certified on a diesel or a semi to work on diesel.
Exactly.
Benefit.
I think my uncle has a CDL, and he's been a heavy diesel mechanic for years. I don't think he ever could because of his health problems.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of health things.
Help is what I think is where I would see it. I mean, just like you don't have to go to college to get a certification to work on diesel, but that doesn't mean his certification is the same as mine. Probably a little bit higher level.
Yeah,
to some people, you know.
Which I found this funny. I learned how to drive a 10-speed manual semi truck, but I can't drive a freaking 5-speed car.
There's a difference.
Massive difference. Diesel truck, it doesn't matter if the brakes are on. You put it in first gear, you can take your foot off the clutch with it idling, it'll still move.
Yeah, I think that at that temperature, he's not going to freeze to death. But we do need to let him go.
Well, I'm looking for my chuck tool, my chuck key.
Your chuck
always the last place you think.
What, you're not just using a T handle?
Yeah.
3/8?
No, it looks maybe a little smaller than 3/8. That looks like a quarter almost.
Really? Huh.
It might be 3/8. It looks
Mine
like
was a 3/8.
1 inch.
What?
Mine's my 6 jaws are 1 inch, and my 4 and 3 are 3/4 inch.
Really? Huh,
yeah.
Mine's a 3/8. I'm pretty sure. I've actually got a chuck key for it, but I'm pretty sure it was 3/8 square hole.
Mine's a big girl. She's older than dirt and Could easily crush anything in its way.
I've got a 4-jaw and a 3-jaw. I've never used the 4-jaw chuck board, so
It's a
I use
quarter
my-
inch.
4-inch. Okay.
I use my
was able to
3-jaw
use
a lot.
in.
So basically, just get you a 1/4-inch breaker bar.
Yeah, but I still want to find that T handle.
Make one.
I just had it too. I don't know where I set it. It's going to show up.
You'll
So-
launch it someday anyway.
What you should do, Brandon, is make like a holder that goes on the side of your
Found it.
lathe and just stick it in there.
You said holder. It was in the screwdriver holder. It's going to go over here in a holder with that. The earlier in the stream, I put the pegboard up behind here.
That would work.
And
I have
paint it
a,
a bright color. Do yourself a favor.
I have
Paint
a
that thing bright.
little holder that mine just slides right in. It's right by the switch to run the 3-phase motor.
Smart move there too. But make sure it's bright colored, because if you ever leave that thing in there and hit the button to fire that lathe up,
Oh, it's gone. You're going to
Yeah,
be
I
impaled.
almost did that earlier, and I looked over and caught it in time before I hit the switch. I said, "Oh man." That was-
Some of them have like a spring on there. So if you're not pushing on it, it springs itself out of the truck.
yeah, those was used a lot in like
Wood
shop
shop.
classes.
Yeah. And also watch your sleeves around it. I got, stupidly, I was wearing my best tux when I was running my lathe and it caught my sleeve.
Yeah, that's why when you see me in this hoodie, because it's cold out here, I usually will put my strings in here and raise my.
yeah. Girl at MIT got killed, last year because her hair got caught in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
See,
gotta
I
watch
talk
that.
to Old School about this all the time. I don't know how these guys, like Old School has long hair. Is a mechanic with long hair.
I don't get it myself, but
I take it and I curl it up in my hat and put my hat on over it. I've got my hair caught in some crazy stuff, Brandon. I had it sucked into a my video with the DT360. Yeah, my hair on first startup, it got sucked into the motor and stalled the motor out.
I watched the video one time where a little girl was riding on a go-kart and her hair went back into the clutch and it scalped her.
ouch.
Now I worry about my nieces when they ride. Of course, my one niece has short hair. She keeps her hair kind of short, but my other niece has long hair.
What really sucks is when you're working underneath something and you get your hair caught in like a creeper. God, my hair would find its way into a creeper no matter what I'd done.
I know Sandy has long hair. She ties it up in a bun when she's working back there, but
Yeah, I
God.
could do the long hair. That and beards. Like Polar Bear Ed has that big beard. I don't know how with long hair and beards. I don't know how you could do it.
I can't handle the scruff like you have, Brandon. That just drives me nuts.
That's just because I get lazy. If it gets too much longer than this, it gets itchy, so I shave it. But that's
Right
kinda
where-
tricky.
Just where yours is now, that's where mine would be itching like crazy. I have to take like 80 grit sandpaper to my face just to get it to quit.
Well, we got 11 people in the house right now. Bathroom time is rare.
technically, I mean, it's warmer with a little bit of beard too.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
why
I gotta- I just use a up here. It gets so freaking cold. You don't want to have a beard because ice freezes into it.
I don't. When it gets that cold, I don't go outside.
Yeah.
I have to. I get paid now for going out and plowing people's driveways and laying down salt.
I own the place. I don't have to do anything.
I mean, I own my place too, but it's an extra money coming in my pocket going plowing people's driveways. And Brandon, I'm telling you, man, I use that 4-wheel drive on that tractor a lot now.
I kind of want to get a little tractor like that. I kind of want to restore my farm all, get rid of it because they don't have a 3-point. It just has a drawbar.
Go get
Hey,
yourself
sir.
a John Deere. It lasts longer.
John Deere's a religion, not a tractor company.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want to pay the tithe.
But yeah, I could actually sell my Farmall Cub down here to a collector for pretty good money. It's just not. I like to have a 3-point because I do a lot of trailer repairs, and it's nice to back up to a trailer because I
And
use
just
my
lift up and
buddy's
hook
tractor.
onto it.
and just lift it up without having to lift the jack up and just move it out to mow.
That's when you use grass killer. Just use grass killer around the trailers.
I got a miniature horse. I can't use anything like that.
Get a tractor with
weed
a bucket and
Oh yeah,
get
just
a little bucket mount for the ball, and you don't have to do that. Easier to push the trailer than back it when you're trying to park it.
Yeah.
Uh,
well, granted, all these new tractors are junk. I'll agree with Raphael on that. If you want a good John Deere, go get yourself a vintage John Deere.
I just want some, but I don't want to go too old. Like, I like my Farmall Cub, but not having an actual 3-point and a regular PTO and stuff,
Yeah, it sucks.
it's not as handy as in the other tractors.
Before I had the freaking Kubota, the newest tractor I had or have was the Suburban 1970. Yeah, 1976 was the newest tractor I had, and it didn't have a 3-point.
if I was buying a tractor right now, I'd probably look at Mahindra.
I don't know. My buddy at Good of the Land has one, and I operated it.
Yeah, that crappy thing. I don't know why Justin don't put a for sale sign on that. It seems like it's giving him nothing but trouble.
Well, it might be the place he bought it from. One thing I don't like about it, and I think he could fix that, is because I operated that tractor a lot, is the clutch travels really far. You actually almost have to stand up on that tractor to push that clutch in.
I've never had any of them that had that problem. I'm just saying for the price, the ones that I've seen that's probably the best price for the quality you get. I mean, that are technically, I hate Coyote. They got too many weak points. Their problems as they age. I'd probably go Kubota.
That's what I got. I like my little subcompact.
My father ended up with a Kubota. I've got a Case, skid steer. But and if I bought right now, because I'm a Bobcat dealer, I'd probably buy a Bobcat.
I got a Bobcat out here. It don't belong to me. It belongs to my buddy, but he won't leave a key for it. So I'm going to buy a key. You leave it here on my property for like 3 months. I'm going to go on Amazon and buy a universal key and drive that son of a gun.
I would. If you're going to let it that long, it's yours.
Hey?
But I'd probably said I don't think Bobcat's the best buy for a tractor, but I'd probably buy that.
His is one of the smaller ones. I don't know if y'all back when they was making a lot of Dominoes in the 90s, they had a bunch of those smaller Bobcats and they all had the Dominoes symbol on them. Back when they was making a lot of Dominoes. And that's what his is.
Huh. I've not done, we just essentially became a Bobcat dealer. We were the Bobcat mowers, but they didn't combine until like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And, we became a Bobcat dealer. We could probably get the tractors, but I can't get the big equipment. So
that mower that you showed on Instagram looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the cheapest one they make.
Really?
Yeah.
It still looked pretty nice.
But that's actually why I'd buy a Bobcat, just so I was driving a Bobcat around the property. But
yeah,
I don't think I'm going to be a Bobcat tractor dealer because I don't really want to get into some of the splitting of the tractors and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that can get hell. Even that old little tractor I got, I have to split it in 3 parts right now to fix the leak and the clutch on it.
Yeah, it's not. I've got the equipment to do it, but I don't want to get into that because it takes a lot more shop space, and I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I want to become a Bobcat tractor dealer.
And if you did that, I think if you did that, you would end up, like it or not, would probably end up having to hire someone.
And that's the problem. I don't want to get into that. I'm halfway thinking about stopping selling new equipment and going and dropping back a little bit. Honestly, I've been kicking it around. You only make like you make 5%, you have to pay 3% for uh, loan financing,
Yeah.
3.5. And if you're only making 5% and you're paying out 3, that gives you 2% markup. And by the time it's all said and done, it's just not enough money.
I'm trying to learn more skills because I don't know if I want to stay in small engine repair forever.
Technically, if I didn't have this large of a business, I wouldn't.
And I hear it, within the next 10 years they're going to be pushing more and more and more electric equipment.
Yes.
I can tell you right now that electric stuff ain't gonna fly out here. Everyone, and I mean everyone in this area, runs old iron tractors because they just last longer and you can't kill them.
Yes, but the
electric ain't gonna last out here. And the property is just way too big.
the problem is, I think a lot of your large stuff is going to go away, and it's going to be harder and harder to make good money at it. You'll be able to make a living, but you won't be able to. The businesses my size are going to start dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's already some that I've noticed in the last few years have slowly started dying out.
Because let's be realistic, I've got a larger business. I mean, I'm pulling in the numbers that, as far as turnover, that are far beyond most of the guys on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's just the profits for the amount of money I'm turning aren't there. Turning $1 million a year should be more than a living.
Yeah. Well, there's that guy in there's that dealership in Lexington, Kentucky, who sells all these big horse farms, rich horse farms, and that guy has a private jet that he flies his clients to these factories to do tours at.
Yeah, but as I said, the margins are just they weren't that thin always.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when I made $1,000 a zero on average. I guess not every zero, but on average, I'd make $1,000 per zero turn I sold. If you added up the average, all of them together. Some of them were smaller, some of them were larger, but the average profit. My average profit now is like $200.
My thing is, I'm trying to learn more into the metal fabrication because I think that's the way I eventually want to go.
I think there's more money in it.
Yeah.
Per hour worked.
I do. I get a lot more money when I do trailers and stuff.
The facts are, if you actually wanted to really step it up to where you're turning enough through your shop and really making money, doing more than making a living, you're gonna have to have a shop my size.
Yeah. And that's what I'm working on. I don't think I'm ever going to afford it in Central Texas. That's why I'm thinking about going to Kentucky. Back where my uncle's going, the land and stuff, everything's a little bit cheaper there.
But the problem with the shop my size is the overhead is going to take up all the profit that they're leaving in the market.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to do other things, I think. Now, if you want to go stay the size you are, you may make more money.
Yeah, I'm going to be adding on pretty soon after a little bit of learning some of these newer vehicles. I want to add on oil changes and brakes and some minor car repairs.
I do that. It actually pays pretty good.
I don't, but that's because I'm completely full of with work. But I actually now I may do that as I close out. If I get rid of new mowers, I might be able to add more time in, but because I may lose customers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to be doing a lot of my small engine stuff, but it's just that the fact that everyone out here is running old cast iron, it's kind of hard when they don't break down or have many issues. You're just not making money.
Oh, and the new stuff doesn't really break down every day, but when you sell 100 mowers, just the oil changes, I mean, you would actually, I'll do 400 gallon of oil a year and oil changes for mowers.
At
Yeah,
one
that's
time,
A lot of oil.
At one time, I would probably be a week or two ahead, but in the last few years, it's died down so much that if I get a dozen mowers in a month, I'm happy. But sometimes I don't even get that.
I'll get a dozen a day in the spring
Yeah, it
for service.
I used to do good, but in the last few years, it's just slowed down so much. That's why I'm starting to get into other things, trying to branch out.
That's why you see those IV racks and bottles hanging on that thing. Because actually, what I'll do is I'll pull 2 mowers over there, suck the oil out, stick the IV racks in there, and walk away. After I do the decks and all that, and I'll go start doing other things. Because that way, the pouring of oil in it, just that little bit of time while you wait the oil to go down, that's money.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be doing 2 at a time.
Well, I used to be like that. I used to have a lot more repairs, but I think it's getting harder and harder. I mean, you dealerships are still surviving, but even y'all are slowing down than what y'all used to be. Some of y'all are not as good as not as busy as y'all used to be. So
A lot of us were never as busy as people thought. I mean, most of your big dealerships only have one mechanic.
yeah,
I would say I didn't see too much. What's the one small engine shop? He had parts behind him. It was in there. Riley's, or that's probably a pretty decent sized shop. Him and his wife, it makes it look smaller because he doesn't have too many guys up front. And he's not selling new equipment.
yeah.
But he's probably putting more through his shop than what most people think, and he's probably putting as much through his shop as some of the larger shops.
That's how I used to be, but I also used to put myself out there more. Maybe I don't try as hard as I used to,
Mm-hmm.
but I used to get a lot more customers in.
Yeah, I would say, since he said he didn't sell new equipment, I'm putting a lot larger numbers, but profit margin may not be as far off from him as you think.
Yeah,
from our profits, total profits, from my shop to his. But I bet I'm putting a lot larger numbers up as far as, I'm doing this much business a year, because I'm doing a lot more nonprofit work, or lower profit work, and that's what your dealerships are doing.
yeah.
That's why I'm actually debating on going back down to where he's at. Doing more small, trying to shrink.
I know what.
And do more metal work up front, because I don't see the margins of what I'm doing on my new equipment.
A local dealer I used to go to all the time for parts. They stopped stopped selling new machinery.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making money at it, but not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll spend a couple hours selling a mower or dealing with all of it, and I'm not making what I'm making in the back.
They used to be the junk mower, the Dixon dealers.
Dixon back in the day was a good mower. Back in the 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
We were a Dixon dealer back then. Early 80s.
I mean, I think it was a move forward to the whole ZTR scene.
It was one of the better ones. They weren't really any better than Hustler or Dixie, not Hustler, Dixie Chopper, Hustler or Grasshopper.
Yeah.
But they used to claim they were the original. They weren't, but whatever. And they sold well. They were actually a decent piece of equipment for the time. They're the same as those other two. It's just when everybody went hydrostatic, Dixon stayed with the cone drive. And then when they went hydrostatic, it was too late.
Yeah. And let's face it, the hydrostatic next to the cone drive, the cone drive, that's a little finicky. I ran out
the instructions.
Time.
I've got the instructions on how to fix that.
Yeah.
If you ever need them.
I
somewhere.
sold mine. I had it. I sold it. I ran it out in the street on a busy road. I was mowing the curb, and it popped off the curb on me on a busy road. It scared me, so I got rid of it.
Yeah, it was a little finicky to get steering right. There's a long procedure for it. I've got the instructions somewhere. I couldn't tell you how to do it because it's been years
Yeah.
since I've done one. I mean, we were a Dixon dealer, I would say probably up to 92, maybe 1992. And then we became Great Dane, which is John Deere. And then after that, Bad Boy, and now Bobcat and Hustler.
I bought that Dixon I had. That was several years back. I bought it for $50. The carburetor was completely rusted out. I bought an OEM carburetor for it, and it set me back $130 for the carburetor. It was one of the older Vanguards.
They can be that high.
Yep.
Yeah, I do not miss Dixons, but I don't like the plastic body on them.
No, a lot of the ones I've seen was broke by the
Yeah.
time.
So I wasn't. The one I cut commercially with was a Dixon because that would have been 92, I think, when I had a commercial mowing outfit. Oh no, the commercial Dixon I had would have been 94. So we were still a dealer in 94 for Dixon. We would have had Dane at that time, but yeah, we had Great Dane at that point. After that, I said I've been a dealer for years. It's sad that we're talking about dropping it, but we're thinking about it. Anyway, you got to get inside. You're cold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I gotta get inside. It's getting real cold out here.
And
And
it's
I've been
12:30.
on for almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a long time since you've done that.
and
Yeah.
I've got to be up and at work in 5 hours.
I gotta get up and clean my uncle's carburetor for his pressure washer. I promised him I'd clean it for him.
All right. Have a good night, man.